Y'all, welcome and happy Tuesday. It's your boy Kris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, including we got to talk box office. We have to talk because we weren't on yesterday. We also got to talk about this story going around that Michael Jackson's friend said that Michael was M-worded as a kid and thought it was pretty much normal. So we'll get into that tea. Plus, we got reviews on Masters of the Universe. People are gonna be shocked, but they saying the movie's good, and it's one of the surprise films of the year. So we'll get into that. Vivica Fox wants a third Kill Bill movie. I don't know how that's gonna work because she died in the first one. So we'll talk about that. Plus, the BET Awards have been announced. Cardi B, Kendrick Lamar, Mariah the Scientist, quite a few others have been nominated. We'll get into that. Plus, the American Music Awards is supposed to be happening this weekend. I got the list of performers, and I got some tea on the Pussycat Dolls because they looked a hot ass mess in their first debut performance. But we'll talk about that. Plus, a massive win for Shakira. Her bank account's about to get a lot thicker because that tax fraud case, she's been acquitted. So we'll get into that. Lauryn Hill is finally revealing after damn near 30 years, or maybe it is past 30 years. No, it's not, because it was 98 when Miseducation came out. So we almost there though. But she's finally explaining why we never got another album post Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So we're getting into that. I got some news about Aqua. A lot of people didn't even know they were still together, but they finally announced they're breaking up after 30 damn years. Kylie Minogue let it slip that she is going on tour next year to commemorate, I should say, her 40th anniversary of her being a pop icon. Jennifer Lopez got called out and dragged by the people because apparently she out here staging paparazzi shots in New York City. Jersey Shore Snooki basically threw some shade at, well, said that Wendy Williams basically tried to get her to admit she was pregnant by trying to force her to drink on air. I think I actually remember that episode. We got the mugshots from Eminem's ex-wife, Kim Mathers. She out here looking like she looked the best, child. So we'll get into that. Plus, Stevie Van Zandt from the E Street Band, the big band that Bruce Springsteen has. He's talking about how this tour they're going on, this national tour, because he's been very anti-Trump in a lot of the stuff he's been saying on stage, doing a lot of political ranting in between a lot of the music, and how they had to beef up security because they've been getting constant death threats. So we have that and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, if you can please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. We also got super chat, super stickers, but hype the channel, hit the like, do all that stuff. It definitely helps out with the algorithm and all that good stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to spill today. Yesterday I was gonna do a show, but I had gotten a call that Zena's ashes were ready, so I had to go all the way out to Suffolk County and pick up the ashes and stuff. So I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm in the mood to even be doing a show with all of that going on. That's my my black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Shout out to who sang that song? Heavy D. But anyway, so yeah, that's why y'all didn't get a show yesterday. But anyway, let me hit this thingamabob. Let's see who's in the registry. And like I said, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hello, says Robert. Welcome back, everyone. I'm gonna try not to go away for too long. It's a muscle shirt. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, it's a crop top too. I'm like, bitch, it's in New York. What's the weather? 86 degrees. They said it's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. It's not even summertime yet. And funny enough, last week I was bitching because I'm just like, it's too damn cold. I'm tired of like the weather changing and I'm feeling sick one day and I got a sore throat the next and then I'm fine. Then I was like, can y'all make up your damn mind? So for the past couple of days, we've actually had like 80-degree weather, which I'm actually happy about. I am worried because this summer is gonna be crazy, but child, I'll be wearing less clothes as I normally do the warmer it gets. Not happy flake survivors. Is this a safe space? This three child, we ain't nobody out here thinking about wheelchair Jimmy and his crazy ass and all that shit with that album. That album is ass, just like Chris Brown's. And you said not Civics Fox fake. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Not you out here about to read Vivica. Look, Vivica do look crazy, and I'm talking about if they try to do an old like try to bring her back at some point, I'm like, ma'am, I mean, they have to figure out something. But ma'am, you look crazy out in these streets. But we're not gonna go there. So it's like Chris Brown said, go listen to we've been listening to Zara Larson. We don't need his permission. So, sir, we've been listening to her. You just thought that was a clapback. See, the problem is you need to hang around some homosexuals because if you did, they'd give you some good damn reasons to come at Zara. But Zara understood the assignment. She hangs with the gays. Oh, and shout out to Robin because I saw she was the opening act over there at in Amsterdam for Harry Styles, and people were sitting there saying, why is this? Why is the? I think it's an arena tour over there, but they were like, why is it so empty in there? Like it was barely any people in there. Because I'm like, because all these little airheads that are no shade to the Harry, the whatever y'all call yourselves, the stylistics. I don't know, the stylers. um. Anyway, well, the stylistics that was a band, or a boy group, male group, black guy group, however the fuck y'all call it. But anyway, um because all these girls care about is running up in the room and Styles, and he gonna give you this dry ass album. That album is so boring to me. I'm like, I don't know how people was liking it. I'm like, this album is a chop. So you're gonna talk about disco all the time, or something all the time, disco occasionally. I'm like, Chad, we barely got disco on that record. Talking about some damn disco occasionally. Can I get some disco? We didn't even get the occasional disco. You said the boys will be out at Chelsea Piers on the hunt for middle-aged podcast. Bitch, you tried it. First of all, how dare you call me middle-aged? Said Harry Styles' album flopping, tour is flopping because of the stage, Harry losing his aura and good looks, and on top of that, Robin is his opener. What I just talked about, and people was living. The 10 people that was in the audience was living for Robin. And what does that say? I kind of wish she was the opening act out here, but around the time when Harry starts doing his residency at the Garden, she's going to be on her own little tour she'll be doing her own little North American tour, and she'll be at Barclay Center, which is ratchet as hell, quiet as it's kept. Don't nobody want to fix themselves to go over there to that mess of a damn arena. But anyway, enough of that. Let me hit my banner, and let's get into our first topic. Shout out to everybody who's in the room and those who are also, commenting and watching all that good stuff. We love y'all over here. And feel free to chime in and with the shade and the mess. Let's get into the box office. So I guess shout out to Michael because Michael Jackson, Mama Say, Mama Sama, Maku Sad, his ass right back to number one because they done put the movie over there in all the, the IMAXs and the Dolbys and all the stuff because it was doing well before then. But because I guess there's no real competition in regards to movies, like they put Mortal Kombat out and clearly there was only a small group of people that cared that went to the movies to see it. But it seemed like it's all about Michael, the Devil Wears Prada, and new entry this week, Obsession, which the women who already done saw, she'd already done saw hers is over there at the Devil Wears Prada too. Sashay, they behind. Look at me with all the RuPaul isms because they did the Stop That Train premiere yesterday. Red carpet. I got some tea on that. I'll probably spill it at the end of the show. Remind me, y'all. Um, So yeah, so they did that, and then I guess everybody who saw The Devil Wears Prada 2 is like, let's go see Obsession. And Obsession is kind of a date movie in a weird way, but it's a horror film. So of course that was gonna do relatively well, but I don't think people realized how well the movie was gonna do. So anyway, let's get into the tea regarding that. So Michael remained not only the king of pop, but the king of the box office with 26.1 million and won the world over as well as with a global fourth frame of 83.8 million. The global running cume for the Graham King produced movie keeps making a run at his previous four-time Oscar-winning hit, Bohemian Rhapsody, with Michael now at 703.9 million. Well, it might actually gross a billion. I think Bohemian stopped at nine. I don't remember the number. Maybe it's in here, but I know it was like 900 and something million. So it was short of a billion. But if Michael could actually cross that milestone, I'd actually live for it, even though the movie is like it's literally fan service and a reason for y'all to just get the algorithms running over there on Spotify and Apple Music and all that other stuff. Movie aside, I'm glad the music is definitely bringing that nostalgia vibe back, and then everybody it's just like giving y'all the feels over again. It's like, you know what? Let me get back to my childhood when I was over there listening to Michael and all this stuff, and y'all are just running up them streams. So they said The Devil Wears Prada 2 came in lighter with 18 million US third weekend, likely losing Women to Focus feature Blumhouse romance horror Obsession, which came in much higher with a great 16.1 million opening. I wonder what the budget for Obsession is. Let me look that up. Said the 20th. I'm gonna have to use the. I'm trying to look for it, but it says the budget was between $750,000 to 1 million, and they said because the budget was so tight, the estimated break even point to the studio was only around 2.5 million. The indie became a massive financial success. So I'm like, damn, if that movie's budget was under 1 million, and it looks like you don't need to spend $10 million on a movie like Obsession, because basically you could just play up a girl basically going crazy over a wish that a guy made. So you don't really need a whole lot of special effects to add up in there. It's down to the performance between the male and the female lead. So I'm like, damn, that's pretty good that you could take, if the number is true, 750 to $1 million that you just spent on that film, and the movie made 60 minutes, so it already made back its budget. It already made back its probably its marketing money, because they were marketing the hell out of it. I didn't see it on any of the YouTubes or I don't know if they were showing it on regular TV, but I do know that every time I went to the movies to see a movie, and I was going to movies a lot because I have A-list, the Obsession trailer was playing before a lot of the movies I went to go see. So they were promoting the hell out of that film. Uh, so they said overall weekend is estimated to be at 106.1 million, which is just minus 1% off from a year ago, which is good. The summer box office will take it. So um let's see it says. Spirits are rather high given the strength of the year to date box office. This, according to ComScore's ahead of marketplace trends. The industry is feeling optimistic for a solid Memorial weekend with the remarkable long-term playability of holdovers, along with the Mandalorian Grogu. Which I will say this: I just saw reviews came out for Mandalorian Grogu, and they are not looking good. Some people say it's the most boring movie in all of the Star Wars universe. And then some people saying it's good. So I guess it's whatever your preference is. I'm gonna go see the movie anyway, just because first of all, my husband's in it, Pedro Pascal. And number two, which I know some people was tight because they said they had him dressed up as the Mandalorian in Disneyland and didn't tell nobody. So there was literally like a whole situation where he was going around wearing the whole regalia and doing all the other stuff. I was like, whatever. But I know he's been out heavily promoting the film, and they always have a stunt dude in there doing all the stuff, and he just does a lot of the voiceover, unless there's a sequence where they need him to take the helmet off, then he steps in and does it. But I'm interested in watching Mandalorian. To be honest, I wasn't really all that excited to see the movie, but like I said, because I got A-list and I got to work on, this week, I'm just like, I'll just go to the movies and see it and kill time and then go work out and do what I got to do, like I always do in my routines, and see it for myself. It's just something maybe to just pass the time. It's not something that I'm like 110%, oh my God, this is gonna be the best movie of the year. Hopefully it's good, but I ain't got my hopes up. So, oh yeah, so I was like, did they say anything? Oh yeah, so Curry Barker directed Obsession. I believe the next movie he's doing, is it a movie or TV set? Well, I know they're doing a movie and a TV show, but I'm not. I'm Off the top of my head, I can't think about which one he's doing, but I know he is a part of the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it might be the movie he's doing, because they're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre series for why I don't know, but they're doing another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and Curry Barker is taking that on, which I actually think is a good idea because a lot of people have been talking highly of him, and I think this is like he's a YouTuber, I love the fact that shout out to my the YouTubers. I'm a YouTuber as well. So I love the fact that a lot of the YouTubers from Markiplier to Chris Stuckman, whether how you feel about Shelby Oaks, whatever, he made a movie, he accomplished something that most of us dream of doing. And I think Shelby Oaks is now finally on HBO Max if you want to see it. And now Curry Barker, he's out here doing stuff. He's graduated from being a YouTuber to making movies. And well, they said that that Focus spent $14 million to acquire the R-rated thriller. So, so low budget horror is doing its thing out here. Shout out to them. Now, child, I don't know what's going on with Madonna's ex-husband Guy Ritchie, but did y'all know he released a movie this weekend? I don't think anybody knew. So apparently, he has a movie out called In what is it called? In the Gray, with Jake Gyllenhaal, Henry Cavill, and Isaac Gonzalez. Now I like Isaac Gonzalez because Isaac Gonzalez, who you get when you can't get Ana de Armas. So um, they're kind of like in that whole same bracket. Jake Gyllenhaal can't seem to catch a damn break. He was in a movie that his sister directed. It flopped. Now he's in this movie. It flopped. It's like he's straight to Amazon Prime, which I do think that that movie that he did, the Roadhouse remake, that should have went straight to the movies because that would like been like something I would have enjoyed watching. But the word on the street is, according to critics, they said that him and Henry Cavill are playing lovers in mercenaries, but are a couple in the movie. I don't know how true that is, but this is what the gay blogs is reporting. Pink News said it, and I'm like, I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. Unless y'all literally showing them like there's implication that they are a couple, I'm just side eyeing it. Like, okay, this is some baiting bullshit, and y'all don't want to actually go there and be like that. I'm not saying y'all got to show them literally in a scene where Henry Cavill got his legs thrown up to Jesus and Jake Gyllenhaal is pounding the hell out of that hole. Although that would be quite entertaining to watch. But I'm not saying you got to do that to let us know that they're a couple. There's ways that y'all can go around being like, okay, these guys are a couple, whatever. But yeah, so In the Gray is out. Nobody went to go see it. It came in at ninth with a muted third 3 million from 2018 locations. Guy directed the movie, which got lousy reviews. It was 46% on Rotten Tomatoes and a B grade on Cinema Score from the audience. And they said that it's another one of those heist movies that Guy is doing. I think he does relatively well overseas, but Americans don't really care for his movies. Because what was that other movie that he did with what was it? Henry Cavill was in it. That unfortunate gentleman. I can't remember the name. It was a long ass unnecessary title. He was in that, and then the guy that plays Jack Reacher. They were in a movie together. That they put that in IMAX and Dolby. Like 3 people was in there watching that shit. So nobody cared, and it seems like nobody cares about Guy Ritchie's movie. So maybe he just needs to just stick to the smaller indie stuff and do like the art house fare because it don't seem like Americans care about Guy Ritchie movies because they said this start is well below average for Ritchie. This is what Gross said, the guy that part of Cinema Score. Ritchie's films often do well overseas and they're British source material and characters, but we don't see particularly strong foreign business here. And that's because I think a lot of the isms, like when sometimes you watch stuff and it just feels so heavily British that I think that unless there's some stuff in there that Americans can get, they're not gonna watch. I'm like, I don't understand none of this shit these people are saying unless you understand the Cockney accents or a lot of the stuff, or you're someone who loves British humor or British films. I watch a lot of British films and stuff. There's people who subscribe to BritBox, and BritBox got some good shows on there. So, but for the most part, a lot of people don't really like resonate with that. If it's so too in the zeitgeist of the British culture, Americans ain't paying attention to all that shit. Now, another movie that didn't really do that well, that is getting great reviews, and I want to see it, but I feel like it's being sabotaged. I need to find out who is the people that produced this movie, or is the what do you call it? The studio behind it. But Is God is not doing well at the box office. It came in 10th place, 2.2 million from 1,510 theaters. So I've heard it's based on a play. And it was directed by Alicia Harris, who this is her play that she based it off of. It is her directorial debut. The play came out in 2018. And it's about two sisters, which is Cara Young and Mallory Johnson, who are Broadway favorites. on an epic quest for revenge. And I think it's because Sterling K. Brown, who plays their father, basically tried to kill the mother and the daughters. One of the sisters got burnt up in a fire. The mother got burnt. And it's basically about the whole slogan is make daddy dead. And so the girls go on a revenge tour to go unalive their father. And I hear like the scenes of abuse and all other stuff plays heavily in the film. And it's really it's some real intense subject matter, but I feel like with the way it's starting to get warm out in these streets, anybody out here trying to go for no heavy subject matter, quiet as it's kept. So I think that you probably released this movie at the wrong time. Maybe what you should have did was wait till the end of the summer to put out a movie like Is God Is. I mean, I wanted to do well, and where I feel the sabotage is coming from with this film. You put it in all these theaters, but when I be looking to go see where I can go see the film, there ain't no morning show times, or y'all got it out in West Bubba, not my normal movie theaters that I go to want to go see it. I'm not trying to go out all the way out in the boondocks to go see a movie. So if y'all gonna play this game, then y'all just gonna have to, unfortunately, movie gonna have to suffer at the box office. Not saying that I'm the sole person that could save a movie from bombing, but maybe this subject matter people ain't ready for, and I'll just wait till it comes out on Prime Video, meaning that I can watch it at home. You know how they do the theater at home situation. I'll just wait till it comes out at home. And so, yeah, then they talk about Billie Eilish is flopping too. They should have just released that straight on streaming, like Paramount Plus. That should have been an exclusive. That way, y'all can get people to actually subscribe to the channel. Same thing, same bitch I make about RuPaul's Drag Race. All Stars should not be the only way people watch RuPaul's Drag Race. You need to put RuPaul's Drag Race on Paramount. That will definitely get more eyes and more numbers and more subscriptions. But these people over here ain't thinking clearly. Y'all want us to go Philo and all these other places to go watch RuPaul's Drag Race, where I'm spending 25 goddamn dollars a month. But I do watch other things on there too, because I have AMC on there as well, and that's the only way I can watch like the Vampire Lestat and all these other shows that's on there, and Dark Winds and all those shows. I'm over The Walking Dead, but and all the other programs and stuff they have on there. But in regards to this, I'm like, with Paramount, y'all should have just did an exclusive with Billie Eilish. I get because it's being directed by James Cameron, that's a reason why y'all want to have that attachment, but that ain't enough to get people in seats. The hardcore Billie Eilish fans probably went to go see it because they want to see it on the screen, or those who didn't get to go to the concert. I worked the concert, so I already know what the concert looked like. And so it was no need for me to run to the theater to go see this on a Dolby screen, or I don't even know if they had it in IMAX, but I know they had it in Dolby. Because when I went to go see, there was a movie I went, oh, it was a movie I went to, oh, I think it was Devil Wears Prada 2. When I went to go see that, right in the big Dolby theater, they had Hit Me Hard and Soft. So they basically said it plunged to number 13. Because I think last week it was number 4. So, or it might have been number 5. So it plunged to number 13. And the movie only earned $800,000 from 2,613 theaters in its sophomore outing. And that's an 88% decline. So she got hit hard and soft on them charts because, ma'am, it don't seem like the people care. And then they talk about The Sheep Detective. I do want to see that, but we don't care about the numbers. But yeah, but the movie got they said the movie was produced for 20 million through Paramount Interscope. So has it made back? I don't think it's made back all its money. Um, well, actually, it says that it stands at 9.2 million domestically and 25 million globally. So I guess it made its money back, I will say, but it's got to make the marketing money back, depending on how much they spent on that. So, um, the people overseas care about it, but in America, people like, we're good. And plus, who knows? I don't know if it might have hurt her because she went on this whole rampage about like she went on this full-on Leatherface rampage online, the slaughterhouse shit with y'all out here eating meat, and this what they do with the people who eat, like this what they be doing to the animals. Child, people been eating meat long before they've been slaughterhouses and before the March of Dimes. So I don't know why she on this whole vegan whatever. Like we were, we're mammals, we're hunters, we were cave people long before we had the ability to speak in complete sentence. Some of y'all still out running around here acting like fucking cavemen and women with the way y'all be acting like some goddamn untrained animals. But for the most part, um, we've been out in these streets hunting and all that stuff. So I don't know if you want to be one of those people that run around there and don't want to eat meat, then sis, hooray for you. But the rest of us, I'ma still eat my chicken. I'ma still eat my ribs, beef and pork, and fish, my salmon. I got a big old bluefish, and there's a couple of. I got a salmon in the freezer. I got a big old bluefish. Child, you ain't gonna want to know how much I spend on groceries. Y'all will gag. The number pushing almost at $1,000. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Fuck you, Trump, and your inflation. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story before I go on another damn tangent over, what's going on in these streets? What do y'all think about the box office in regards of Michael Jackson reclaiming his time and his throne, not only in the box office, but also on the music charts? Because Miss Graham over there, Miss Aubrey, tried it with them 3 albums and trying to dethrone Michael and trying to surpass his. I'm like, first of all, the man's dead. So the fact that when you got living ass people who try to game the algorithm so they could surpass a number when you're not in real competition, you're in competition with a dead dude. Like, really? And still couldn't even beat the number. So Michael Jackson is winning both on the box office and on the music charts because of the success of Michael. So whatever your thoughts are on all of this, and if you've seen any of the movies that I mentioned, let me know in the comments down below. Wait, hold on. I forgot I did open up the little window so that way I could read everybody's comments. Who show flop quicker? Poom Poom Snatch Dolls. That's funny. Um, Well, they both had to cancel their domestic dates because nobody cared about buying tickets to see their ass. But here's the thing: I will give J Lo, oh sorry, Jennifer, the the win in regards of she's out here still winning in a way because she did her residency and the residency was successful, which is not saying much, but at least it was a residency. She was selling out them shows. Pussycat Dolls don't even have a residency in the United States, so Pussycat Dolls, I would say, flop quicker. Spill to stop that train premiere tea during the movie's topics. I'm curious in a bit. Well, I heard. Well, a friend of mine worked the event. Said the movie is actually. I ain't gonna say good, but he gave it a B score. Interviewed some of the queens. When Eureka showed up, he was like, "Let me hide amongst the crowd because I don't want to deal with her." And because it seems like a lot of people who've encountered Eureka is a lot. There's a story that I even knew that her assistant ended up going to jail because he was holding her coke for her when she was on them drugs. I don't know if she still is, but Miss Thing did the K, she did the booger sugar, and she was doing other shit too. So she is a hard person to deal with, especially when she on them things, them recreational drugs because they ain't prescription. Um, and that's all I can think of at the time of my head. There'll probably be more stuff that comes on later on. He was somebody he didn't get to interview RuPaul, even though he was trying to. I did see some of the clips online. People were sending me of like RuPaul dancing with Simone at the after party. He said he didn't go to the after party. He said because I didn't want to have to work, or whatever. And he decided to leave. He was like, I took my ass home. So, and then told me a lot of the queens that was supposed to be that was on the list, like Raja and a whole bunch of other ones, were not there because they were on the itinerary. When you go to these events, you do get like a little, like the paper I showed y'all when I was working Celebrity Row at the Garden. You get literally a pamphlet book, whatever. So the one I got at the Garden was thick. It was like maybe 4 or 5 pages. I'm like, okay, this is a lot. I'm just going. I don't even know. I ain't got time to be looking at this, studying this, whatever. Whoever, just show me whatever you got to show me. I'll show you where you need to go, and dealt with it that way. I'm good at like working on the fly with stuff. So you get the same thing when you go to the drag race events. You get like a little 2-page situation when you get to see all the pictures of the celebrities who are going to be showing up. So when they come to the step and repeat, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And it was about like a lot of the people that was on that list wasn't even there. And I guess was insinuating that if you want to go see this movie with the RuPaul movie, basically the way he was saying it was like, you know what, you'll probably enjoy it more if you're watching it at home. So I'll probably be doing that because I was like, I don't know if I'll be going to the movies and see Stop That Train. I'm like, is it similar to Star Booty? Like, is it in that vibe? But I feel like it's what I've been saying in regards of like it to me, it's giving like improv challenge. That's what the movie is giving me when I look at that. I was like, it's giving like RuPaul Drag Race episode improv challenge. Like they read or RDR challenge. Like it's just like, I'm not gonna see that mess. It looks stupid. I did not. You said, well, the box office. We gonna have to fight. And you said God also directed the horrible live action Aladdin movie. Oh, I never watched that. I honestly don't like live action versions of animated movies that I watch. I hated that fucking Little Mermaid movie. The only live action Disney movie that I liked was Cinderella. And that was because when I at the time I worked at AMC and I needed to kill time. So I decided to get a ticket and watch something. And I watched that movie. I was like, okay, this was actually pretty good. Throwing legs up to Jesus. This would be great on a shirt. Well, look, there's been many a time when people said like some of the phrases you use, you need to put on a shirt, and I do need to do that because I need to get into the space of doing merch. I just had to hit up a friend of mine who's a designer to create my, and I'm gonna give y'all a little sneak. Well, I was gonna say I was gonna give y'all a sneak peek, but no, y'all gonna have to wait. To create the thumbnail for me to when I do the Madonna Confessions 2 album listening party that we're gonna do in July. So I like the first photo, but I want to do different options. So I had to like look up different photo shoots that I have, and then we'll do some magic with that. You said it was because of James Cameron. Billy fans even said James is anti-streaming. Well, this is what happens when you get these. I mean, I like the idea of James Cameron directing it because James Cameron is like an icon in regards of filmmaking, and I love how he pushes the boundaries of tech in filmmaking. And like what he's done with the Terminator movies and the Avatar films. So he's always like trying to find in like really creative ways to use the camera in order to push the boundaries of filmmaking. So I've always liked James Cameron for that. I've heard he's hard to work with, but the technical aspects we all, we love that. And at one point he was married to that other director, Catherine Bigelow, who I also love her stuff. But yeah, the whole concert thing, I like the idea, but I'm like, I don't know. I could just wait for that to come on streaming. I don't get wanting to pay watching a concert because a lot of people can't afford to go see a concert with the crazy ticket prices. It's like, and then at times I even hear from the guests. They're in they get in the nosebleeds and they have to at times resort to watching a screen because yes, when I'm working the events, we have cameras all around and stuff. We had it for the Springsteen concert. We have it usually for a lot of the concerts. We have cameras and stuff that are set up to capture the performances so that way if you can't see it in certain situations, you have to watch it on the screen. There's certain people that is like you're fucked pretty much because they won't do it. Lady Gaga didn't do it for the Mayhem Ball, which was kind of annoying. And Sabrina didn't do it for her show. And Mary J. Blige didn't do it either. And people was like, well, why did they put the screens on? I said, because she ain't paid for it. You got to pay for them screens up in the 200s to have them put on. So, and then come to find out, she actually filmed her concert at Madison Square Garden. And I think she did a couple of dates. I think it was before that residency where people reading her because she be sitting down on that big ass chair singing her songs. I'm like, ma'am, I understand you. They like she 50 something, she tired. I'm like, Madonna was the same damn age up there doing somersaults and all kinds of crazy shit physically. Your feet hurt. Stop wearing them goddamn thigh high ass boots. Put some sneakers on. I think a concert or like with Gwen Stefani where she wears like them thigh high boots, but they're like flat on the bottom. They look like Converse. And she be running around the stage, and Gwen is what in her 50s, mid 50s. I think a concert movie being at number 4. It is the first week, but not the second. The second falling out of the top 10 and only bringing in under $1 million. She should be lucky. Who in the fuck gonna see her whispering on stage? Not the Aaliyah cosplay jersey. And yeah, she do be whispering. I'm like, ma'am. At this point, you might as well shove the microphone up your ass so we can hear you. You know, her and Janet Jackson. That's what I always be saying when they be singing. I'm like, man, why the hell you doing that shit? I'm like, would you turn up the fucking mic? Because she whispering. Billy do it, annoying. And somebody, you got to be quiet. No, ma'am, you need to speak the fuck up. Not eating Tyrone. But look, tickets is getting ridiculously expensive, so people rather just watch the concert. Same thing like with the Renaissance tour when that was when Beyonce recorded that and put that in the theater, and her lazy ass. I don't know what's going on with that, but she ain't released the stuff for that. Why haven't you released the DVD or whatever the case was for that concert? People had to go to the movies and watch it, but that would annoy me because I don't want to be hearing y'all singing off key to freaking dress. I know they ain't on the itinerary, but I'm just picking out a Beyonce song. And you said not him trying to come for dead Michael's charting. Okay. That's what he did. Even in death, Michael can't be touched. I stand for my king of pop. Mm. Oh, don't even get me started on that man in a wig. I already know she made the comment. I saw this. I saw this. I had quite a few people send it to me. My friend DJ and our group chat sent it, and I was like, what I say? Hold on, because now I gotta pull it up. I hope I didn't lose my place with and then Duran Bernard getting called out, I guess, because he said something about Tank. What did I say? Oh, I said this bitch out here looking like a man in a wig trying to push homophobic conspiracy theories. That's what I said in that chat. And I'm like, girl, go play in traffic. Because who the fuck is thinking about Little Mama and her half a hit? It's even a whole hit. Yeah, we was talking about, what was it? Her lip gloss was popping. And I did like that sausage song, Eggs, Bacon, Grits. That was a cute little song because it was giving me like that old school New York, Brooklyn, type of vibe or whatever. But I'm like, man, go play in traffic. Like, good night. See, now because I went and I had to look up my thing, now I got to go and try to find the next story because I lost it. Oh, did y'all hear that the Jonas Brothers is launching a podcast? So that might be interesting. I started watching his Nick Jonas' wife show, the Citadel season 2. They dropped all the episodes at once, which I don't like when they do that because then I'm like, y'all really don't believe in this show. Y'all just dropped the whole damn thing. And is that all I know is also I hope I don't look like I'm sweating on camera, but it's hot in here. I had to get my fan and all my air and stuff changed over because now it's starting to get hot. When you got the lights and everything on, meaning the camera, because I got like my ring, I got lights, multiple ring lights, and when that light is on you and you film and you doing a show, you feeling that heat from the light. So you got to have the AC and everything on when you're doing these shows. That's why that's another secret as to why they have it cold in the studios. Like in regular studios, it'd be cold because them hot ass lights, you'll be sweating. Why did it cost 200 million to make Michael? Well, the reason why it was actually less than that, but because the whole situation that happened with um what was it, the Jordan Chandler situation, which they were not supposed to use in the film because clearly them people over there didn't read the fine print. They had to scrap that. The Michael estate actually had to come up with the $50 million to do the third act reshoot because they had to scrap that whole damn thing. I have a feeling they did that shit on purpose, so that way they'd be like, oh, wait, we have a clause. We can't use this because then that's a way they don't have to address the elephant in the room. So I'm thinking they intentionally did that. You know, me and my cynical ass, I'm loving Dre getting dragged for using a glove and showing he's using Michael Jackson now that it's cool when he abandoned him after leaving Neverland. I mean, Neverland. He's an opportunist. We all know that Drake is an opportunist. That's why I be looking at him and the side eyeing. And that's what I said. Like they still profited off of it. They said I would like live action to animation or anime better. Wait, what does what say? Oh, you talking about on the shirt? It does. Are you talking about the picture that I did for Oh wait, I should have put it on there that said Madonna. I should have put it on there, but no, it says Madonna. But I'll probably use that as the headline. Do that party via Patreon. That way you don't get monetized. Funny enough, when I did my other thing where with the Madonna video thingy, it didn't. It gives you like a thing where it says the video can't be monetized, but it didn't affect the. It says you won't get a strike against the channel, but we detected copyright, blah 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 blah, blah whatever. We all agree that March release was better. You said Fame destroyed Eureka O'Hara, but congrats to everyone else that was there. Still not going to watch. That's what said. That's what probably they should have called the movie instead of Stop That Train. It should have been Stop That Movie. All the exclamation points. I paid $9.50 for Billie Eilish concert film and got a free poster. That's a win-win because posters. Some of the movies I've noticed when I go to the theater, they do give posters. Especially if you watch a movie in IMAX or Dolby, they do give you the posters and things. Didn't think about it that way. I stand corrected. Wait, what we talking about again? It said, yeah, Gwen has always been fit. That's why she can run around that stage. And Mary walking around with like her damn feet hurt. It seemed Billy is another one of those vegans that push too hard. Like years ago, Katie Lang did it. Oh, I forgot about that. They don't see how meat eating is such a personal choice. Shaming it is a no-go. First of all, you a vegan. Can you imagine what them damn farts smell like? Nobody want to smell your rotten ass. It smell like you rotting on the inside and you try to push that air out. I'd rather eat meat and my dairy than you sit up and about this is bad. Well, first of all, you vegans be dying faster than those of us that eat a cheeseburger, quiet as it's kept. And then you said that no doubt Sphere Show looks like curtain call. But what does that mean? Like, first of all, I've been hearing that people have been liking it. I like all the visuals. That would get on my nerves after a while. Like all those visuals, I'd be feeling like it's blinding from the performance, or it takes away. It's just too many bells and whistles going on. But some people like all that pomp and circumstance. You said Tarjay exclusive CD include a poster in most occasions. That's how I got a Billy poster when I bought her first album way back when. She did. Yeah, that's what some from her latest tour that I didn't know she filmed, and I was there too, working it. First of all, her damn audience love y'all, but her fans is ratchet as hell. I ain't never heard a bunch of people complain so much in my damn life, and they kept talking about, well, at the Barclays. I said, yeah, at the Barclays Center, they don't give a fuck what y'all do over there, but over in here, you can't pull the shit that you be pulling. Cause I just wanted to do whatever the hell y'all want, and I had nobody tell you. All them damn hood boogers that she got for fans. And I like Mary, but some of her fans be acting like they ain't never been outside in a while. So, um, yeah, I didn't know that she filmed her concert at MSG until I saw a story that said, "Oh, she's releasing her concert in theaters." And it was filmed at Madison Square. I said, "Where the fuck were them cameras?" Because I didn't even notice the cameras in there. Oh, I probably wasn't paying because she had like this weird setup. She had like the stage, and then it was like this thing that was carrying her from of the B stage to the regular stage, and then she had like couches set up in the back, like it looked like a suite, and these little white couches. I was like, okay, she really trying to VIP the situation. So I liked her girlfriend remix with our. Oh, you talking about Little Mama? She had some bops. People try to drag me, but having children is now a luxury, like dating is. Gays turn dating into fuck dates, and what's wrong with that? We like fucking over here. And he said the Jonas Brothers, and that's why I was like, shout out to Adam Lambert because somebody was asking him when he was doing a Q&A about his upcoming album. He was like, they was asking, I guess, if he want to get married and have kids. He said, I don't know if I want to have kids. He said, my kids is my dog that's sitting at my foot, literally wanting treats. And I said, I'm with you, sis, because I be feeling the same way. First of all, kids are a privilege, but they also a burden. I want to go out. If I want to be outside and I want to hunch and go to this party and this and the other, I don't have to be like, I gotta find a babysitter. And now this one, like, I want to be able to come and go as I please. That's the same way I feel about relationships. I want to be able to go as I please. I don't want to have to answer to my where you going, who you with, who there on the phone. None of your fucking business. You don't pay this bill, this expensive ass bill. so. So I saw a picture of Kevin Jonas. Yeah, he still ain't the hottest brother, but the body is bodying. The body is tea, as we like to say. If this movie sucks, you'd have a hard time windmilling. By the way, how old is RuPaul and what is his shoe size? Well, I don't know what it's probably huge, 16. But Ru is like 65, I believe. Make that T across how we got that 16 tracks. And I'm glad she's honoring the Lower East Side. And I'm excited for this album. She's honoring her legacy full circle. Oh, yeah, I need to definitely say that. Like, can you change the Madonna shirts and put it like Madonna and make the T across? Y'all know what I'm talking about with them vegan farts. He was that I was replaying. I'm replying to your response regarding when fans would pay. Oh yeah, that's why I said that. Look, y'all gotta remind me because I talk so much stuff on here. I can't remember everything. So thank you. Mars has tried it, but Lady Gaga needs to be on her Lower East Side. I'm like Gaga wasn't around the Lower East Side, especially Madonna's pre-gentrified version. Well, she lived on the Upper East Side, but she wasn't outside like at the upper. I mean, if you want to talk about the East Side, Gaga was doing the dive bars. She was up in there performing the dive bars and all the other stuff. She also had privilege on her side because with her father's money and everything, he was funneling her career, and she dropped out of NYU quiet as a kept. Nobody want to be talking about that. But as far as like being up in the club scene, like I was in the club scene and like Madonna was in the club scene, Gaga was not up in the scene like that. So that's what I hate, the fact that she gets all this credit and she talks about in the Chromatica era that this her dance floor and she fought for. Bitch, you ain't fight for no damn dance floor. Like if you want to talk about the real deal, Holyfield, Madonna is the situation, especially because she has a song on the new album called Danceteria, which of course is a legendary club that existed in New York City back in the day. I was way too young to go to Danceteria, so I unfortunately have never had the privilege of going to Danceteria, but I did do the Limelight, and I was so glad that I was able to do the Limelight before they closed it. Limelight, for those who don't know, was like it's like where is it on 14th Street? Literally, it's like up the block. Is I think Boxers is still there, but like right up. I don't even know what the fuck, honestly. Limelight is today. I think it might be like a plethora of little mini stores or whatever that's in there. But the Limelight was a church that they turned into a nightclub. Child, the contrast of that alone made me want to go to. And the fact that one of my friends, DJ Tennessee, used to do a lot of like the club kid parties, the days of Michael Alec and all that. So he used to do DJ a lot of those type of parties up in there and in a lot of the other areas. So um I was glad I got to do the Limelight and Splash and XL and Twilo and the Roxy and a lot of those places. And yes, as someone who's in their 40s, I was going to them clubs when I wasn't supposed to be in there. But that's what we did in those days. When you were young, you could find your way to slide your way up in a lot of those situations. She said something about I forgot what did she say. Um, Somebody sent me the screenshot. I think it was on Gay Magazine. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Was it on Gay Magazine? Yeah, actually, it was on Gay Magazine. I actually got the clip in case y'all didn't hear what she said or something on another. So since this is not even a part of this, it's funny how this show just becomes whatever it becomes. Because I mean, the topics is what it is, but I feel like what I love about this show. I feel like y'all really make this show even more lit with some of the stuff that y'all be saying in the comments. That makes the show way more entertainment. So I know that so many people get caught up in the topics of it all, but I like the banter in between. I feel like it makes it more of an interesting show. But anyway, let me pull this clip up. And yeah, it was over there on Gay Magazine. Shout out to them. And it said, yeah, okay. I hate when y'all put these new things up there now where people like stuff. Where she posted a homophobic comment, questions government for using the LGBTQ plus community to encourage depopulation. So it says, Little Mama is facing criticism for recently posting a homophobic comment under an anti-LGBT conspiracy video shared by extremist Riza Islam. I don't even know who the fuck that is, but it's probably some radical moron. Now, in the video, Islam alleges that powerful political officials want to depopulate the earth for various reasons. Little Mama shared under the post, or is it the government pushing it through the LGBT? So she thinks that, does this mean that in her mind the depopulation is coming from, oh yeah, because they're pushing the gay agenda because gays don't want to have kids? Well, bitch, I don't know if you realize this, because she looked like a whole man in a wig, and it's always these bitches that got hard ass jaw lines that want to come out and be the most homophobic, because I'm sure in her lifetime she has been called a man many a times or misgendered, and a lot of bitches like her feel away, and that's when they want to go on these whole social media tangent and start saying ignorant ass shit. And then her dumb clown looking ass gets dragged. So they said this isn't her first time being openly homophobic. In 2009, during an episode of America's Best Dance Crew, I forgot that Naomi was on the show. She made transphobic comments to Naomi Maldonado, a member of Vogue Evolution. Oh my God, I remember that show. Hopefully they got the clip in here of that, but if they don't, I'm like, damn, I may have to do a deep dive, because I don't remember that. And I guess maybe I wasn't really up on the whole transphobia of it all. But let's see. Hold on.
The ultimate agenda that,
let me go back, because I hate when they mute it and then y'all miss the whole clip.
we are looking at, that this enemy is pushing, is depopulation. We have to get this through our mind. That way we can remove the emotion from it. Take the emotion out of it, look at it for what the purpose is. Just be logical about this. What type of government would encourage men being with men, women being with women, and remove the ability to procreate? What kind of government would inspire such a thought? Now,
first of all, not everybody. Why do they think it has to do with the gays? Y'all always want to use, first of all, you look like a whole faggot in this picture, and you got the nerve to sit up in here and talk about the gays. First of all, sir, get right with your shit and your booty hole before you start worrying about what us open and comfortable in our skin homosexuals is doing over here. Don't worry about what we doing, Miss Thing, because you look like you trying to get right with your shit, and you need to get right with that before you even try to come in here and worry about what we got going on over here. Second of all, a lot of the reasons why people aren't having children is because it's expensive to have fucking children. A lot of people can't afford to have kids. Everything is going up except the living wage. So there's a lot of reasons. Also, there's a lot of people who, because of infertility issues, are struggling to have kids. A lot of people don't have money for IVF or to freeze their eggs or all these other things. So why do you always want to come out with the whole gay shit? It's always these bow tie wearing homo types that always want to come in here and worry about what we got going over here. Mind your business, ma'am.
again, depopulation is the goal. That's what we have to look at. So when you're looking at the trans thing, the drag stuff, all that, you doing being half naked around children, what's wrong with you? You're a pedophile. You got these gay folks calling out just pedophiles because the pedophiles are using the gay movement like they did way back then. Again, you got to go back to the enemy. Because if you get caught up looking at the people, then you're going to be too busy arguing and fighting the people. And rightfully so, to a degree. Some people you got to be like, Pops, sit down. You can't be around my baby. Nope, not my child. Go over there. But the enemy is always the one puppeteering and controlling this. Satan is doing his job. I never thought I would see the day where the White House would have the LGBT flag hanging with the trans flag and all the other stuff, the child predator flag, all that right there in front of the White House. Make sure you put that up on the screen. Brother, I'm telling you now, when that happened, do you know the world is watching us? You know, the world is watching America, right?
Yeah, they talking shit too.
Oh man, you know, America has been the bull.
I say he talking shit. No, you full of shit. And another thing, you sitting up here talking about all this other crap. We got a whole convicted fella in a alleged PDF file up in the goddamn White House. Where's the outrage for that? But you're going on a fucking flag. And mind you, black people are getting just as discriminated against as the homosexuals. So, whatever.
World. And they're looking like.
And next time you try to pull.
I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what he got to say. But yeah, they got the clip. So let's go back on that.
You're men or women, huh?
A stunt like that, just try to hold it. Laomi, your behavior, come on, it's unacceptable. I just feel that you always have to remember your truth. You were born a man and you are becoming a woman. If you're going to become a woman, act like a lady. Don't be a bird. Like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? It gets too crazy and it gets confusing. You're doing this for America. Even though you're the face for transgenders, you're the face for America right now with this group. And it's not about anybody else. It's about y'all. And
oh, fuck this ugly ass man looking back.
A guy runs into a tranny and she says, "Hi, my name is Amanda and he starts to date her, and then later on he finds out that she's a tranny. He can't get mad, right? Because she did say she was a man. Duh. Wow.
Okay, fuck this hoe. First of all, hold on, let me refresh and see. Yeah, because what I wanted was I wanted to get to see if what the people were saying in the comments. T.S. Madison up in the comments. Now, Maddie, the next time you do Fag Talk, and you already dropped 2 episodes this week, I need you to go in and light this hoe up. Oh no, not animatronic. Shout out to her. You know I live for her, part of the citizens, but fuck. Look, I brush my teeth, so I can do all that in the mic. I don't know about Billy Porter, but you already know when the centipede is. Hopefully that breath ain't gonna, because you know them bottom row. Oh yeah, I posted never heard of him, meaning Lil Mama. Chola Spears, shout out to her. I know her. She said she didn't need to be worried about anything other than her own self-sabotage. Period. Funky Down even said, and this is why her whole life is a flop. Let me find out. Funky, I hope you talk about this on your show tonight. Not somebody said Bow Wow, please. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, people used to say her and Bow used to think like her and Bow Wow was the same person. But damn, see, this was not even a part of the situation. But I guess we made this a topic, and I'm going to have to chop this up. In other words, that if you want to keep it a buck, straight people are pushing the gay agenda because it's the only thing they talk about. They're the ones making this gay shit relevant. Sometimes I even forget I'm a homosexual until I log onto the internet because it's the only conversation happening. That's why I said I don't be sitting around running around. Okay, let me rub my sexuality in your face. I don't be sitting there doing. I got so much. Not little Papa chair. I'm gonna read y'all comments in a second, but I just wanted to leave that up there. I don't be sitting up in here worrying about what you breeders are doing with your fucked up ass kids. I don't be sitting up here worrying about what y'all got going on from day to day. I mind my business. I live my life. I'm doing this other, but this cockeyed cunt want to run up here on social media and start spewing rhetoric because she needs a moment because y'all wasn't feeling her music. And this whole situation where I didn't even know she said what she said about Naomi, but if this video surfaces and somebody sends it, I hope Naomi light her high yellow hazel-eyed ass up. Another person said, I swear they be more concerned about gay people than we do our damn selves. Absolutely. Another person said, why are they acting like gay people just came out? The agenda I see push is that rapists get a pass. I guess they're talking about the president. Another person said, that's such a weird take. The same government that's legislating against our humanity is also the same government encouraging queerness to drive a depopulation agenda, loud, ignorant, and embarrassing. Another person said the argument falls apart because homosexuality has existed across cultures. Damn sure did long before there was a fucking Bible. That's what I put in there. But I'm gonna read the rest of this person said long before modern governments. So it cannot realistically be something governments created or strategically introduced. Also, declining birth rates are much more strongly linked, as I said earlier, to economic pressures, education, and changing lifestyles than to the LGBTQ community. In fact, the gays, who quiet as is kept, have the most disposable of incomes, are the ones having more of the kids than you fucking straight people who are sitting out here trying to figure out how you going to feed your nappy-headed ass kids. How you gonna be able to put gas in your car to get to and from the multiple jobs that you work in like a fucking slave, and all the other things you got going on. So concern yourself with that, bitch. How you paying your bills off that half a hit? Who dick you sucking? Because I don't know anybody streaming my lip gloss be fucking popping. So they also went and said the most governments are actually concerned about population decline rather than trying to cause it. So, obviously, and most governments are actually concerned about population decline rather than trying to close it. So, and then another person said the obsession is weird at this point. And then we're going to end it with Jerome Trammell said, the way Jay-Z depopulated Lil Mama's career, you would think that would be her focus. Oh, wait, I got to do this last one. Somebody says it's always the DL studs. So y'all out here saying, Lil Mama out here giving DL stud tease, worrying about what the gays is doing. But anyway, so yeah, because I'm going to turn this into a segment, because that wasn't the plan. What do y'all think of what Mr. Thing had to say, well, her strong ass jawline. It always be these bitches with these man jaws that always got something to say about the homosexual community and why y'all concerned why people ain't having it. So everybody out here gay? Everybody, y'all saying the whole world is gay now because people, the decline is happening, especially if you really want to talk about the decline of the depopulation of human beings, is more or less happening with white people. And that's what this status quo, the Trumpian types are worried about. The fact that, yeah, the Hispanic population are the ones that's running around here really having kids, which is why these mass deportations are happening because white people are having this fear that the Hispanics are going to become the majority and the whites are becoming a minority. And they believe this is going to happen around 2030. So that's in the next couple of years. But you up in here spewing homotep propaganda because your ass, your strong jawed ass, your stud in a wig looking to have an ass want to go fucking viral. Eat a dick, bitch, or eat some pussy because it look like that's what you really want to be out here doing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this Todd ass half a hit wonder's thoughts in the comments down below. Now let me hurry up and get through these comments because child, we are an hour in and I think we only did one take. That has happened before on this show. Oh wait, I did still leave the little Papa up in there. We'll always love Lil Papa. No, we won't. Whitney Houston is doing a 24-hour YouTube stream. Okay. Shout out to Whitney Houston Beyond the Grave. That one been dead since 2012. We talking about Lil Mama. We talking about Whitney Houston. Lil Mama's career, Whitney Houston's actual corpse. He said, I was saving this for the Shakira topic, but some turd abandoned a kitten around my house and she stumbled upon my backyard. And now I have a third house cat named, not Shakira, child. Oh, baby, when you're done, all right. Look at you with all them damn cats. You really love pussy, don't you? She's a faux club kid. That bitch and haters try calling it bacteria. Yeah, something that your mama got in her damn vagina. That's what it is. Got some damn bacteria. Yeah, it's bacteria in your own damn hole. You need to get it checked. He said Gaga does give rich girl who dropped out of art school. That's exactly what she did. He said RuPaul got a 16-foot size. Wait, was she tall? She's like what, 6'4"? 6'2"? I don't know. She over 6 feet. The gay agenda is real because the earth is depopulation. Yeah, it was. I sent you the link last night via messenger. Fuck the population. The world's already too clogged with idiots. Okay. I got blocked by Tasha K for calling her government name. Oh, let me find out you out here. Yeah, she don't want people out here know what we said her name was, Transrena. Because you a whole trans out here mad with the trans community. The truth is that a lot of anti-trans women are jealous as fuck. Of course it's all projection because real people who comfortable in their skin ain't out here worrying what the LGBTQ plus community is doing. You out here living your best life and worrying about your own shit. It's always the people who put on a suit to go on a podcast. Oh, please, don't even get me started on that with them tight ass bow ties. Remember at one point, Tucker Carlson used to wear bow ties in the early part of his career. I think back when what was he on? MSNBC, CNN, one of them damn channels. First of all, quiet as it's kept. Fox News and CNN, they all one and the same. Fox News is red MAGA and MS Now and all that other shit. They're all blue MAGA. Yes, the world is watching us and they are laughing at us, but it's not because of our LGBTQ citizens. It's because of the felon in the White House being dumber than a bucket of rocks. Okay? Not even her lip gloss can make her pretty. Okay? Come on with the reads. So y'all went back, y'all want black folks to have a lot of broken homes because most ain't getting married. So what's up? We're talking about like broken homes because of what? Because they don't have, you want them to just have a whole bunch of kids, but you're not committing to the woman y'all having the kids with? I think having kids is just an aged out dream. Majority of people my age and younger are not attracted to that lifestyle. We want something that is unconventional and stable. Exactly. Not everybody, and that's another thing too. I think people need to realize not everybody wants to be running around here in these streets getting married. Who wants to get married and have kids? Like all of that shit. That's like my parents and stuff who are in their 70s. That was kind of like the goal that you get married and you have the two income household and all that other shit. Those days are over because the Gen Xers and the boomers and even the silent age made sure that the rest of us, the elder millennials, the Gen Zers, and the Gen Alphas weren't really going to have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. We all out here living paycheck to paycheck and struggling. She failed at the Left Eye auditions. Okay. Like you said, most people don't want kids now because they're too expensive. My sister spent thousands on diapers and baby clothes. And with and that's why a lot of people at this point they go to like Goodwill or other places where they give like free baby clothes or swap meets or whatever you want to call it, where they try to find real cheap stuff. Because everything out here is expensive. I went the other day, bitch, why is gas $6? It's like, y'all done lost your damn mind. Yeah, I caught what you meant. I got the intelligence. Sometimes I like to act. I was gonna say sometimes I like to act dumb. I don't even like acting dumb. I got low tolerance for stupidity. But anyway, so let's get back into the show because we're already an hour in. Like I said, we only did 2 topics. So we got this. Well, technically, it's on our third because we had to create. I got to create the little mama situation, her homophobic ass, and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good clip to cut up. So anyway, let's get into this Michael story. So Michael Jackson's friend apparently did an interview, and he running around here saying that Michael confided in him that he was M-worded as a kid and thought that getting diddled with was normal. I wonder who did the diddling. Was it Joe? So an insider has he dead. He can't sue me. So an insider has claimed Michael Jackson revealed he was M-worded as a child, but normalized the experience as playtime. Jackson's legacy has fallen under renewed scrutiny in recent years because of the long-running allegations that he SA'd underage boys. Now, although he was acquitted of the claims in court in 2005, the accusations about the late King of Pop had persisted in the public square down for the decades, including in the 2019 HBO documentary Leaving Neverland, which, sidebar, I don't know if y'all know this, but you can't even find that anywhere. Like, it's not even on HBO anymore. It's vanished out of thin air. I don't know if this was pressure from the estate or whatever the case is, because when you powerful and money talks and you're John Branca and you protecting the brand, whether it's true or not, you can't find that documentary nowhere. Now they said they cropped up again this year. Is that even a term that cropped up? I think it meant they popped up. Anyway, we'll just use that. They popped up again this year in reaction to the smash success of the gushing new biopic Michael, which was backed by his estate, starts his nephew Jafar, and stops in 1988 before the explosive charges emerged about the sexual proclivities. Now, Emmy-winning producer Jeffrey Mark has added another layer to the story, saying Jackson was himself the victim of the crime of which he stood accused. Well, a lot of times when you hear from people, they always say hurt people hurt people. So I don't know if there's real evidence of Michael diddling with children. He loved kids because of the innocence. I'm sure a lot of perverts be saying that too. I'm not saying Michael's a pervert. I'm just talking about pedophiles in general. But a lot of times when people have sexually abused children, they too have been sexually abused. Look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly was diddled with as a child, and he went around fucking little girls. Aaliyah being one of them, and marrying her. And then remember the girl that came out that was Sparkle's niece that did an interview with, I believe, CBS. Was it 60 Minutes? I believe she did an interview with them. I believe it was earlier this year in January. Did an interview and was finally decided to come out of the closet because she was trapped in it for so long with them accusations from, R. Kelly. She decided to come out of the closet with her tea on what happened and basically spilled all her stuff on the thing. I wish what I would have done is I remember I showed a clip, but I really wish we would have just as a class watch the whole interview. So Mark maintained that Jackson never told him the name of the alleged perpetrator of the tragedy that befell him, according to the New York Post. Well, here's the thing. It's like, even if it wasn't allegedly Joe, He was a child around a lot of people in the industry, and there's a lot of freaks and a lot of perverts and a lot of abusers and stuff. Look, even I just heard recently Hayden Panettiere came out and told a story. Some Oscar winner at a party showed him her testicle. I mean, showed her his testicles. So you got all kinds of weird ass people in this industry that do all kinds of weird shit and things that happen. That's why I said this is not a business for kids. But I understand he wanted to get out of the land. What was it? The land mill business. He wanted to get out of working the job that he had. So he basically heard one of the sons, I think it was Tito, playing the guitar, and decided, you know what? Let's try to get all y'all together because he got this talent, and see if we can conjure a band out of the situation, and basically have y'all up in there practicing so that way we can get ourselves out of poverty. And I applaud Joe for doing all that. But all the extra shit that he did with the verbal and the physical abuse, it's unfortunate that the Jackson family had to endure that. But, I guess those were the days. And I'm not sitting here making an excuse for the man, but those are the days of like, you had to be real, I guess, real harsh so that way they could develop a thick skin. So now, according to Jeffrey Mark, he and Jackson shared close conversations at a string of Los Angeles parties in the late 90s and early 2000s, hosted by the late Dr. Arnold Arnie Klein, a top Hollywood dermatologist nicknamed the father of Botox. Now, Klein, who treated Jackson for the vitiligo that ultimately whitened his skin, hinted multiple times in public that he was the actual biological father of the Thriller singer's two elder children, Prince 29 and Paris 28. Well, I did see a picture of what Mr. Klein looked like. I'm gonna have to pull it up on my other page so that way y'all can see it. I'm like, I would not be surprised if there was a white man. Cause look, no shade, but let's talk about it. When you got biracial up in you, you at least got a hint of blackness. You look at Tyreek Withers, he a white, and he got mixed race family members, but you see a little black up in them. Wentworth Miller, I would say, like, I mean, if you look at his hair texture, you see a little black up in there. That's why he kept that hair real short. But like when he grows out, I was like, we see a little go up in you. But you Ivy League, so they always try to do that pass. But you don't get none of that when you look at Prince and Paris. They look full on like they got two white parents. Blank is the only one that looked like he got a little racial ambiguity up in him. So they said in 2015, Prince responded to the rumors about his paternity that were circulating online by tweeting, "The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water." Okay, now we getting all religious. Is thicker than the water of the womb. I was raised by my dad with my brother and sister. By the time Mark and Jackson were meeting each other at Klein's parties, the claims about Jackson's supposed activities with underage boys were already public, saying he had reached a $20 million settlement in '94 with the family of a child called Jordy Chandler, whose father accused Jackson of M-wording his son. That was the story that was supposed to appear as the third part of the Michael movie, but because part of the deal was they could not use that stuff, they filmed it and everything. They didn't even dot the I's across all the T's of what they could talk about. They had to remove the whole thing and then start over. And then that basically what you got was a Bohemian Rhapsody retread. So the third act was just, I'm going to perform solo by myself for 20 minutes, and then we're going to do the Jackson's Victory Tour as the closer. That basically was the last third act of the damn movie, a fucking concert. Similar to what they did over there, like I said, with Bohemian Rhapsody, where Rami Malek reenacted the Live Aid performance of Freddie Mercury. Now, they said years later in conversation with at his parties, Michael told me he experienced abuse as a kid. And this is what Jeffrey Mark maintained in his new interview. I was SA'd by my father and others who are also deceased in my family. Michael said that he was sexually abused. He didn't use those terms because he didn't think of it as abuse or sex. It was playtime. Michael shared very broadly news that there was intergenerational touching and beyond. It's not like Michael said, "Oh, I was abused." That would never have crossed his mind. This is what Mark, who's 67, said. Jackson has been conditioned that this was normal and natural, said Mark, adding that it did happen a lot. It was part of his growing up and was normal. The revelation was apparently prompted by a dinner table conversation about fathers at one of the soirees Klein hosted in his mansion in Hancock Park. Jackson had publicly discussed being beaten with a belt by his father, Joe Jackson, who managed him and his siblings during their rise to stardom as the Jackson Five, but never came out with any allegations of SA by him. Meanwhile, his sister, LaToya, purported in her own memoir that Joe M-worded her, but she later retracted the claim, saying she had been inducted to include it by her allegedly abusive then husband, cum manager Jack Gordon. Now, Jeffrey Mark said that when the topic of fathers came up at the Arnie Klein dinner, I shared that I really couldn't chime in because my father had both sexually M-worded and physically tortured me, and Michael found that revelation to be strange. Mark added, he almost sort of cocked his head like a dog, like he was not understanding. It was something he thought was normal and natural and did not understand why, when it happened to me, I was upset by it. His own theory is that Jackson was not evil, but had lost his capacity to distinguish what was right and wrong because of the trauma of his own upbringing. And I was about to say that I think maybe what this all boils down to is the fact that maybe he would go to this place in his mind that was his safe space. So when you're trying to reciprocate or to bring forth the fact that, yeah, this is not normal, this is not okay, he probably knows this, but had just kind of shut his mind off. Hold on. Oh wait, I was supposed to have closed that. I want to show y'all this picture of this man who said that he is, the Jeffrey Mack dude, and who's supposed to be Prince and Paris' father. He kind of do favor them, so I do believe that, yeah, that's your daddy. But I guess in this situation, just because you probably does nothing but a sperm donor, but here's your real pappy. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave that picture up there. So now, if I thought that Michael was evil or a predator, if I thought there was evil intent on his part, I probably wouldn't be talking about it. Michael, to the best of my knowledge, thought that he was entertaining children the way that he was entertained. Now, Mark will never go as far as to call Jackson a PDF file, noting he can only react to what I saw and heard. I was not in the room when Michael was with the children. Now, as y'all know, Jackson died at the age of 50 in 2009 from cardiac arrest he suffered after having the powerful anesthetic propofol administered as a sleep aid. His estate-approved biopic Michael, helmed by Antoine Fuqua, was released last month and proved to be a roaring box office triumph, becoming the second highest grossing biopic of all time behind Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, look, it's still going. So it is behind Bohemian Rhapsody, but if it's able to surpass, we'll see in these coming weeks how well it does. But yeah, I feel like at this point, I mean, what can we say? Michael is not here to defend himself. So we don't know necessarily whether or not this is true, but um as someone who was a Michael fan, I could totally understand like trying to lock out some of the things that happen to you because of the traumatic experience of going to this place that is your protective space, which is what a lot of people who are victims of abuse do. But I don't know. It's just this is just something heavy and complicated to even fathom. I mean, but at the end of the day, regardless of the fact of you saying this, Michael's been dead for almost 20 years. He's not here to defend himself in regards to this. So we just gonna have to take this with a grain of salt. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you believe this story from Michael's friend who said that, yeah, he was abused as a kid? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because, all these damn predators in the industry that be up in here doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And as I said before, people who have been abused as a child themselves, 9 times out of 10 will pass that down to other children and inflict that same abuse. We've seen it happen with R. Kelly. We've seen it happen with countless people who are abused or abusive or, who have been abused or can be abusive. So, yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts on this story in the comments down below. Like, what is going on? Oh, I still have the old torrent file of the Neverland. Oh, she got the file, honey. And you said, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy was diddled. He has a weird, yeah, because you know something, wasn't there stuff that was released in that was another one. I couldn't even think of Diddy, probably because he hadn't been talked about in a month of Sundays. But yeah, he another one because remember, I believe in many of the documentaries that I've seen, of the diddler. There was stories of like his cousin was talking about how the mother was having like these parties at the house on the weekends, and there'd be people having a huncher all throughout the house. So I would not be surprised if Diddy was exposed to a lot of sex because of what his mother and stuff was doing up in there. And it's funny how y'all be the main ones that be up in here worrying about what the gays is doing. It's like, look what these straight folks is doing. 9 times out of 10, if statistics have shown, a lot of the pedophilia comes from you straight folks. It ain't the gays. And I was gonna say, like, I ain't saying that there ain't no gay people that do M word, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of you heterosexuals are the ones that be out here diddling with the kids. Halsey has a black dad and she has no ounce of sub-Saharan African in her appearance. Sure, she got some features. You said I went to high school with Wentworth Miller. His hair grade was like a white person back then, but like some mixed people, the grade might have changed as he got old. Yeah, when he got older, you definitely could see that he had some of that texture. So I guess when you said you went to high school, and so he definitely was giving white tees. Like I even had a conversation with my sister or whatever, was saying like, yeah, when they look at my hair texture, it was like, yeah, you definitely got that soft hair. And they even said that my hair texture is better than my younger brother's, which if you even tell him that, because you know he and I don't get along, that would literally flip his wig. I said, you gonna say I got something better over on him? Oh, he'd gag. He said, you got me believing that man is a sperm donor because I see Michael's son Prince. Exactly. That's what I said. When I looked at the picture, I was like, I definitely see Prince in the features. Very true over the last wait, what happened? You ain't finished your sentence. He said, in Halsey baby photos, she looks biracial. I said, you gotta catch him on a certain time, like catch him on a good day, and you definitely see the biracial tees in people features or biracial features and stuff. So I said, yeah, you see it. I don't know. Sometimes when I be looking at Halsey, I definitely see ethnic up in her. All right, y'all. Um Oh, wait, I forgot to mention there was a story that I heard about. Speaking of Jackson kids, Paris Jackson is trying to get more money out of the estate. I saw that earlier. What is it? She's trying to get 463,752 from the estate's executors. They said the amount represents the interest that has built up on money a judge already ordered to be paid back. So she's trying to get her coins and stuff out of them. On top of that, they said that fans noticed some type of lump she had on her neck, and therefore she had to go get like I guess what do you call it? Like an ultrasound or MRI, something or another. So she had to go get that checked because they said that they noticed when she was online and she was talking, she had a lump. Child, you better hope you don't got like, I don't know if she smoked, but you better hope that you don't got the big. And speaking of smoking, Charlie XCX, your ass need to stop smoking because that shit is nasty. So yeah, I forgot to add that to the story because I had that open as part of like the topic, and I was like, I was so caught up in the old Michael thing that I totally forgot. But anyway, let's get back into some more hot topics. And let's talk about Masters of the Universe. So while Mandalorian Grogu is not getting the greatest reviews, it's getting mixed, saying some people saying that this is probably one of the most boring movies to come out of the Star Wars universe. And then some people saying, yeah, it's action packed, whatever the case is. Masters of the Universe, they finally started releasing the reactions from critics, which I think is a good sign because the movie's supposed to be coming out, I believe, in 2 weeks. Is already getting looked at by critics, which is a good sign because I feel like they have confidence in this film. And now, from what I've been reading, they're saying the movie's surprisingly good because I'm glad to hear this because I was a little nervous. When I had seen like the trailers and stuff, I don't feel like the trailers was selling the movie to me. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good. But let's get into the tea regarding this article. So By the power of Grayskull, He-Man and the gang have landed on Earth following the world premiere of Masters of the Universe at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles on Monday evening. Now, while official critics' reviews for Travis Knight's live-action adaptation of the Mattel Media and Toys franchise are embargoed until much closer to Masters' release date of June 5th, Amazon MGM Studios allowed premiere attendees to release brief social media reaction after the screening. Because I think that they're worried about, because look, I've been hearing they said it's not tracking really well in regards of like, um, what are you talking about? Pre-sales? It's not tracking. So you do need to leak a little bit of those fan reactions from the critics just to get people realizing, like, oh, so maybe this movie is good. Maybe I should go get a ticket. I don't know how much it'll help, but you definitely need to get some buzz going because I've been seeing the teasers and the trailers and everything, and I still kind of been on the fence as a He-Man fan and as somebody I've told y'all many a times. I had all the action figures. I had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain as a kid and all that stuff. So Masters tells the story of Prince Adam of Eternia, who has a child crash lands on Earth and is separated from his sword of power. Adam is raised on Earth as the pretty average Adam Glenn, but his life changes when he is reunited with his sword. He returns to save the ruined homeland and faces off the evil Skeletor. And you know, I had to search hard and wide for some reviews on Jared Leto's Skeletor, and I found two. So we'll get into that when we go through the critic reactions. But so they said in-demand British actor. I always forget they always British. Nicholas Galitzine as Prince Adam / Adam Glenn / He-Man, with Jared Leto playing Skeletor. The all-star cast includes Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms, Camila Mendes as Tila, Alison Brie as Evil Lynn, Morena Baccarin as Sorceress, and Kristen Wiig as Roboto. Dom Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Oh, it's Dom Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Remember that song? But anyway, so it said the cast also, okay, we don't need to go through all the damn whoever the rest of the cast is. That's the main cast. So you know, Master of the Universe was a toy line that came out in 1982. And you know, then we had a movie when it came out in 87 with Dolph Lundgren, but it flopped at the box office. And then I saw they uploaded a scene on Twitter confirming basically that Dolph Lundgren has a cameo in the movie. I kind of wish I would have saved that for the movie instead of trying to put this out there. So, like, for those of you who love the original film, growing up in the 80s, in 87, come see this in theaters because Dolph Lundgren got a scene. It's like some things I wish I would keep, but I guess, you know, we're in the era of people want shit spoiled. So let's get into some of the comments or critics' reviews. According to Courtney Howard, she says, well, actually, let's do this as a class. Let's pull it up and let's go through what some of the posts, you know, the critic reactions. Okay, so according to Courtney Howard, she says, Master of the Universe, Shaggy Charms worked on me. A colossally epic time. Has a what is GOTG? Is that Game of Thrones? I think that's what she was meaning. Style, self-aware tone, and a radical message at its core. Nicholas Galitzine, Camila Mendes nailed it. At Daniel Pemberton's rock score with assist by Brian May hit so good. Stay through the credits. Okay, so when she says that, that's got me thinking that this next story regarding She-Ra makes an appearance. So I'm starting to think that that's the stay through the credits. I think that's what that is. So, and we'll get into the She-Ra story in a second. So then she also went on to say, Master of the Universe director Travis Knight has a genuine reverence for all the incarnations of the He-Man character, the Masters of the Universe action figures, animated and cinematic iterations. Easter eggs are incorporated with craft and care. I got a little misty at one point. Perry Nemiroff, who I absolutely like. Hold on, I'm gonna have to open hers because it's a long one. She said, "Bound to be one of the biggest surprises of 2026 for me. I love Masters of the Universe. I'm a huge fan of a lot of folks involved, but it was never really my thing growing up, and I kind of assumed the same would be true now. Also, based on what I do know from the source material, this felt like an immensely challenging film to pull off, but Travis Knight and company did it. I will agree with that because I definitely feel like how do you pull off an IP like Master of the Universe? Master of the Universe is something that is based on a cheesy toy line and a cartoon that was cheesy. But I love it because that was the 80s. 80s was cheesy. It was a cheesy time to be in the cartoons and all this stuff. And I watched back the old He-Man cartoons because if you have Amazon, what's it, Prime Video, you can watch the old episodes. I'm like, this shit is so corny, but this is my child. When I be watching anime, I'm like, this. Take your nap time, He-Man. That was the Skeletor voice. And I was just like, it was definitely entertaining and stuff, but like when you watch it as an adult, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking watching the show growing up? But I get it, so it is what it is. So, but Travis Knight is somebody who did Bumblebee, which is actually like one of my favorite Transformers films. I mean, I like the first Transformers and Bumblebee. Those like my top two. The rest of them was trash, but he captured the essence of something like with like this giant car who turns into a person. A car turns into an Autobot, I should say, and then that dynamic between him and who was it, Shailene Woodley, and so that between them and just trying to make something that on paper would come across so cheesy and corny work for the big screen. So she went on to say, I was totally swept away by the super vibrant, weird, and gleeful romp. It's downright ridiculous, but ridiculous works when the cast and crew wholly get the kind of movie they're making and are enthusiastic about going all out to bring it to life. And that's what it is. Like at the end of the day, when you do like these cheesy films, when it's like, yeah, it's on paper, it's ridiculous. It's a whole ridiculous concept. But if you already lay out the foundation, this is what it is. You either jump in on and take the ride with us or you don't. That's how you sell it. And those are the type of movies that I like. So her review on this has got me excited. Now, Peter Gray says Nicholas Galitzine looks the part in Master of the Universe and how, but well, eating and the gym and HR, human growth hormones probably because they do get help. But it's his comedic timing that steals the show. Knowingly cartoonish, packed with 80s vibes, the soundtrack, and Jared Leto camps it up vocally as Skeletor, slightly risque, but mostly family-friendly fun. Well, okay, that's the first Jared Leto review or comment. Now, another person said, Rachel Leichman said, Master of the Universe is a hell of a lot of fun. Nicholas Galitzine brings a sweetness to Adam Glenn and makes his take on He-Man memorable and also a fascinating take on masculinity. Oh, yeah, because, a lot of people had an issue from the first teaser, remember, where they had Adam Glenn and it said on his desk nameplate, he/him. Oh, they trying to be woke with the him and the he, It's like, shut the fuck up. Y'all always coming up in here with some bullshit in regards to that, with the fake outrage. When it comes down, it's like, look, this is what you're getting mad over. So anyway, let me continue. So what was that? Okay, it said fun, and features the Man by the Killers. So I was in. I do like the Killers' music. Another person, Kevin Phoenix, said Master of the Universe revives Saturday morning cartoon magic with massive action, silly laughs, and real heart. Eternia looks like Rudy Obrero's box art brought to life in full Technicolor glory. And yes, Master of the Universe is absolutely all about the muscles. Well, that's another plus. So then it goes on and on, but let me scroll down to because there's a lot of these up in here. Let's get to the Jared Leto stuff because I know a lot of people saying that Jared Leto will hurt the film, and so it says, yeah, Master of the Universe is a movie that knows what it is and leans hard into it, and I couldn't be any happier that they did. A few problems and tired tropes here and there, but this movie is as He-Man as it gets. Inject Daniel Pemberton's score in my veins. Now, I'm really looking forward to hearing the score because they keep talking about this 80s score, and it kind of reminds me of the movie, what was it, Thor Ragnarok, where they had like the 80s hair metal type of vibe, then or 70s and 80s hair metal vibe, then I definitely will be looking forward to hearing what the score is going to give. This is funny. One of the guys said, Griffin Schiller, pains me to say it, but Jared Leto is genuinely unrecognizable and very, very good in Masters of the Universe. He and Brie understood the assignment. Skeletor and Evil Lynn steal the whole damn thing. And last but certainly not least, we have this one now from Griffin Schiller. It's clear that everyone involved in Masters of the Universe has such an unabashed passion for the source material and its impact on their creativity, while at times feeling like a relic from the 2010s IP grab, it finds its strength in proudly embracing the quirky, campy, after-school special isms that endeared its filmmakers to it as children. A nice look at how trying to look cool is actually the least cool thing you can do, and having a deeper connection with who you actually are, finding sensitivity through strength, is rad as hell. However, for a film about the need to stop being a try-hard, I wish it didn't try so hard to win me over. The attempts at humor, especially, and boy, there are many, are painfully trite and unfunny. There's an awkward cadence and sense of insecurity that permeate much of the first two acts, making it hard for me to fully fall in love. That said, Jared Leto's Skeletor is genuinely excellent, a hilarious, pathetic diva who works a scene like Man Ray meets Dr. Evil, the undisputed MVP. For whatever faults the film has, they fucking nailed every moment involving this goof. So he seems like he's not all that enthused by the movie. He said it has its problems. I'm still gonna go see it. But so that's one that was just like, I mean, it still nails the goofy aspect of it, but it's trying too hard to win me over. And I understand why they have to do that, because I feel like with the first He-Man movie being a flop, they have to kind of go there in regards of, you know, trying to get butts and seats and wanting to see this movie, because like we said, it's not tracking well. He-Man, even though it's a risky IP to take on, it's been a long time since we got a reboot of the film, because the last movie was made in 87, so that's damn near 30 years ago. Is it 30 or 40? It's 40 years. I don't know what I'm talking about, because 2027 will make 40 years. Had to do the math in my head real quick. So it's almost 40 years since we last seen the original, film. So it's a risky IP to take on, and how do you deal with that? But I never, for once, wavered. I was a little nervous, but because of Travis Knight's um, reputation as a filmmaker, that was the one thing that kept me hopeful that this new He-Man movie is going to be good. So now speaking of He-Man, let's talk about She-Ra, because remember in the first tweet that we read, which now it's got me definitely excited to want to see this movie. Um, they said stay for the closing, the post credits, whatever the case was. So I don't know if it might be a mid credit or we got to stay to the end. But they said stay for it, so that means we're going to get a surprise, which means this will probably be the same way that they did the other film, which would be Superman, the new Superman movie, where we got a little taste of Supergirl, and then now we're going to get the Supergirl movie this year. This is a way for them to tease She-Ra, which Travis Knight did address in a recent interview. So shout out to Comic Book Movie for this. They said, can we expect to see She-Ra in the upcoming Masters of the Universe reboot? Director Travis Knight gave an intriguing response when asked about the possibility of He-Man's cousin making her live-action debut. Just like we got a Superman cousin, and they doing like a reverse situation in regards of him being similar to Kal-El, crash landing on Earth and having to go back to Eternia, except Kal-El can't go back to Krypton because Krypton done blew up. It don't exist. So he's stuck on Earth. So he basically said, I can say very little about She-Ra. This is what he told SFX magazine. For me, She-Ra has always been a big part of the Masters world and a big part of Adam's story. In the fullness of time, if we're lucky to tell more stories in the universe, She-Ra will play a huge part. So if Master of the Universe gets a sequel, Princess Adora will likely be involved, but it sounds like she will either be referenced in this movie or was actually going to appear before some changes were made. It said whether or not she plays any part in the movie, I cannot say, but we definitely had many, many conversations about the character. There are giant scenes in the movie that aren't there any longer. I'm very proud of this movie, but there are definitely things that I love that we had to cut. Hopefully, they will get to see the light of day at some point. And so, She-Ra debuted in 1985's He-Man and She-Ra: The Secret of the Sword before going on to feature in her own animated spin-off, She-Ra Princess of Power. I do remember because I watched that show as a kid as well. And then it said, and then she had the Netflix series when they revived that in 2020, and fans are continuing to campaign for her revival. So people want She-Ra. Hopefully, we'll get her in the post-credit scene that they're teasing, and hopefully, this movie does well. Where we can actually get a proper sequel or a sequel to Master of the Universe. So hopefully, it can get past that curse and it'll happen. But I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Now hearing the critic reviews, the people who have got an early screening of it, and the She-Ra T. Are you even more excited? Does this have you more excited to want to check this film out, or was this never on your radar in the damn first place? So, whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below. Charlie is British. She will never stop smoking. Okay, she don't want no lungs, clearly. The all straight, we got these asshole Republicans running anti-trans campaign ads. Well, all that distraction. Mind you, black folks can't get reparations in the United States, but you set up a whole sludge fund for a bunch of insurrectionists. This is my childhood. I will be there opening weekend. Yeah, exactly. Because like I said, this is my Devil Wears Prada. So I'll be there opening weekend, seeing it as well. I couldn't imagine going to a movie theater paying what is that? WT for snacks to sit in front of a screen in an empty. Mm-mm. First of all, the theater's not going to be empty. There's going to be people in there watching that. And even if I have a theater to myself, I don't care. More room for me. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some more tea. I was like, where we going? Okay. And let's talk about Vivica Fox. Vivica has a new movie out called Is God Is. We already talked about the box office numbers that's happening with it. When we talked about box office earlier, so we don't need to regurgitate that, to scroll, rewind to the beginning if you want to hear all the details regarding that. But she recently did an interview, and she said that she would love to revisit her role as Vernita Green, aka Copperhead, in another Kill Bill movie. That's if what the hell's his name? Quentin Tarantino decides to direct another one, but it seems like he's been teasing it, but I don't even know if it'll happen. But in the meantime, let's entertain what she had to say regarding this. So, Kill Bill icon Vivica Fox would love to revisit her role as assassin turned housewife Vernita Green. It's been 22 years since Fox last portrayed the woman who betrayed Beatrix Kiddo, played by Uma Thurman in the iconic Quentin Tarantino films Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Benita was one of the assassins who the bride sought retribution from 4 years after the backstabbing and had completely changed her life by the time she was tracked down. She was a stay-at-home mom in suburban Pasadena, California, and was unalived by a knife the bride threw into her chest after she attempted to fight back with a gun hidden in a cereal box. And they don't say it in here, but the cereal box was called Kaboom. That's how many times I've watched that damn movie. I can even tell you the name of the cereal box, and I can recite that entire scene word for word. That's how many times I watched that movie. Like, you should have seen me when I went to the theater to see the 4-hour Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 with the additional scenes added in called The Whole Bloody Affair. You could actually purchase it if you go on Prime Video or whatever. Like, you could buy it. I don't know if there's physical copies of it. I mean, it should be, but I bought the digital. And literally, I was in the theater just mouthing it because I was like, I don't want to disturb everybody. So I was like literally just reciting the lines like I normally do when I watch a movie that I love. So now Fox has revealed how Vernita's story could continue in a possible sequel, along with the grueling training she underwent to portray the skilled assassin. She said, I'd love for us to be able to do Kill Bill 3 soon. This is what she told the Daily Mail in an exclusive interview. While her character died in the first film, Fox suggested her character could make a return as a presence, warning her daughter about the cereal box. Well, child, you blew a whole hole in the damn cereal box, so there was no gun there by the time Nakia brought her ass downstairs to see what had happened to her mother. So they said, I need to be a little cloud over there telling my daughter, girl, don't go for that cereal box. Watch out now. Or flashback scene of me showing her some of my killer skills that I learned being a killer before I turned into a housewife. Saying it was a dream film for Fox, who was thrilled to join the cast of I was thrilled to be honest with you when I got cast in Kill Bill, just to be able to work alongside Uma Thurman, Daryl Hannah, Lucy Liu, and directed by the incredible Quentin Tarantino. Fox prepared for 6 months to get into fighting shape and training she compared to the Olympics. Because they was all doing it at the time, especially because of the whole Matrix effect, where a lot of the actors had to go in and do 6 months of training in order to be in tip-top shape to do the movie. She said, honey, that was 6 months of training. It better turn out good. She said, I thought we were like training for the Olympics, but everyone was so dedicated, checked their egos at the door, and that's why the film has become a classic. Now, when asked if there had been any talk of a third Kill Bill, she said, keep putting it out there in the universe. We just need for Quentin to pick it up and make another. Now, Fox has remained in touch with the legendary filmmaker over the years since working together on the first 2 films. Over the years, definitely. She said, I get invited to events celebrating him and his career, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So, then she gets into the whole women of a certain age situation where women being put out to pasture over the age of 40 has become a thing of the past, and saying that they said in an industry where women of a certain age struggle to find leading roles, Fox insists society is relinquishing its obsession on archaic beauty standards, with female baby boomers now taking center stage, saying there used to be a time in Hollywood that once you turned 40, they put you out to pasture, like you couldn't get it no more, and like you weren't still desirable. I'm so glad with the baby boomers that we have today, from your girl, Vivica Fox, Queen Latifah, for Lopez, look at Meryl Streep, 70 and The Devil Wears Prada, who's just killing the game and owning the scene, fashionable, still desirable, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So she gets in this whole life doesn't end when you're over 40. But here's the thing. If you decide to bring Vivica back, I do think that I would like the idea of her being, I was gonna say, could she be like a Force Ghost, or maybe she could be like Pai Mei, where she just like flashbacks up in the background. Remember, like in the old um Asian cinema films, where it was like if somebody died, you kind of go back to the teachings of your child, and they give you like the little wisdom one-liners, whatever. Or like very Bruce Lee, how he would give you sort of like these words of wisdom before he beat you up. So she could kind of be like in that sense of being doing the voiceover, being in her daughter's head as a goal for her to go on that mission to go after the bride. Because we feel like with Kill Bill Volume 3, you could basically just turn that into a movie by itself, where Nakia goes and seeks revenge. Because remember, Beatrix says, when you grow up, you still feeling raw about it, she'll be waiting. And so you could have a sequence where Nakia goes and takes out Beatrix Kiddo, finds her, unalives her, and then BB, whatever she's doing, goes and seeks revenge on Nakia. So it's an ongoing cycle. And this whole revenge situation of them trying to see this out, you killed my mother, and this sort of thing. So you can find a way to make that situation work. You already know I got my cast. I want Nakia to be played by Zendaya, and I want BB to be played by Maya Hawke, since Maya is already an actress. I heard she just got married, but she's an actress. And she's out here killing it with her performances and whatever. So, and she looked just like a dead ringer for Uma Thurman. So why not put her up in the film and have them two go at it? And because Uma Thurman is a giant, you kind of have the reverse. Zendaya's already tall and statuesque, so you have her kind of go in and be that, that person. So I like the idea of maybe just doing that. But the whole thing, don't go get that gun in the. I know she was trying to be funny, but they can find a way to make her work in as like showing flashback scenes, or being the voiceover or whatever, being sort of like a guide for Nakia to be having a thing, and kind of make it sort of like not a black and white, just a girl hell bent on revenge. It's like there's shades of gray in those characters. Quentin knows how to write characters when he's not busy trying to just regurgitate stuff that's already been done and putting a Western stance on it. He's good with the dialogue and all other stuff. So I could definitely see him giving what needs to be given with the writing and stuff. So I say all this to say What do you guys think of this story? Are you looking forward to? Man, look, we've been clamoring for a Kill Bill damn movie forever, and I think it's time that we get a Kill Bill movie because it's long overdue, in my opinion. So, whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. A History of Violence, that was a good movie. The Odd Couple, was that the one with Cedric the Entertainer? Vivica Fox is looking like Bill, and her forehead won't fit on. He said to bring her back and make her look young again would require money effects. So I don't know. When they brought Ash back in Alien Romulus, it was cringy and it bought Well, y'all try to bring back okay. And first of all, isn't the actor that played Ash, didn't he die in real life? So it's like, yeah, when y'all be trying to do it, it do be looking weird when y'all try to de-age people. I do feel like they need to find ways of juxtaposing Vivica in situations. Maybe take her face and put her on. Well, that's going to cost too much. So yeah, having her in there might be a little crazy. You can have flashback sequences. There's ways that they could work around it where they can make her look younger. Silhouettes, the lighting. If she puts Zendaya in there, she would have to show her. Oh, because he loves feet. It's like, sir, you need to keep your fetish to yourself. Anyway, all right, y'all. So now let's get back into the show. And let's talk about the BET Awards. So the BET Awards have been unleashed. And I guess shout out to Belcalis Almanzar because she's leading the nominations for the 2026 BET Awards. She's got 6 nominations, followed by Drake's BFF. Because he decided to cover 3 albums instead of here talking about Kendrick. So Kendrick Lamar and Mariah the Scientist got 5 each. Doja Cat, Clips, Tiana Taylor, Olivia Dean, and Lotto, who just had her baby. Congratulations to her. Got 4 nominations. Now, A$AP Rocky, Bruno Mars, Bryson Tiller, Chris Brown, Jill Scott, Kalani, Metro Boomin, SZA, Tasha Cobbs, Leonard, T.I. and YK Nice received 3 nominations, and they have the full nominations below. So now BET Awards will arrive on June 28th at 8 p.m. It's funny, they always do that a month before they're about to release the nominees or, the actual show. So the nominations were selected by the BET Voting Academy, which is comprised of entertainment professionals and influencers in the fields of music, media, digital marketing, sports journalism, public relations, and creative arts. Cardi's nominations include Fashion Vanguard, Best Collaboration for Time Remix. Well, that was the best song on that album, Quiet as It's Kept. And I do love the Time Remix because that's the one I listen to more so than the original version. That's featuring Jeezy and Lotto. Best Female Hip Hop Artist, Video Director of the Year with Patience Foster. Album of the Year for Am I the Drama and Viewer's Choice for Outside. Well, I did like that song too. Now, Lamar's 5 nominations include Best Collaboration for both Chains and Whips with Clips and Good Flirts. First of all, I love Clips' new album too. And Good Flirts with Baby Keem and Momo Boyd. Best Male Hip Hop Artist, Video of the Year for Lufa. I like saying that on purpose. With SZA and Viewer's Choice for Chains and Whips with Clips. Mariah the Scientist 5 nominations include Best Female R&B Pop Artist. First of all, I just realized I didn't even put up the bells and the whistles. I didn't even do the picture for the BET nominations. It's a whole method to the madness. Okay, so now Mariah the Scientist 5 nominations include Best Female R&B Pop Artist, Best Collaboration for Is It a Crime? Well, does that contain a sample of Sade? Because that's all I'll be thinking about when I hear Is It a Crime? With Kali Uchis, Video of the Year for Burning Blue, Album of the Year for Heart Soul Separately, and Viewer's Choice for Burning Blue. Now, new categories include Fashion Vanguard and Pulse Awards, with the latter recognizing a creator campaign or content series that most powerfully moved Black culture forward in digital spaces by sparking conversation, building community, and defining the moment online. I like the fact that BET is going into this more positive type situation. I mean, BET always been positive, and quiet as it's kept. I've enjoyed the BET Awards more so than any of the other award shows because they cover everything, and not all different genres of Black music, as well as acting and sports and all that other stuff. Because we are the movers in the shakers, the homosexuals and the Black folks. This is why I don't understand when the Black people be out here trying to read and throw shade, Mr. Mama, with her bullshit. And I'm like, ma'am, if it wasn't for the homosexuals, because you was taking a lot from the voguing and the ballroom and a lot of the hip hop culture, a lot of that was accumulated from gay Black people and Hispanics have been in the whole thing with the b-balling and the breaking and all that other stuff. Because if you look at some of the breaking moves, a lot of that is in voguing as well. Now, they said all of our nominees represent the very best of Black culture across music, film, sports, and beyond. And with the introduction of the Fashion Vanguard Award and the Pulse Award, we're proud to honor even more of the ways our culture confronts to show up and evolve. This is according to Connie Orlando, EVP, Specials Music Programming and Music Strategy at BET. Now, it sounds interesting, but they have for the fashion. So the new awards, I mean, we'll get into a couple of them. So Fashion Vanguard Award, they have ASAP Rocky, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Cardi B, Coleman Domingo, Doechii, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Tiana Taylor, and Zendaya. This will be a hard one because when we're talking about fashions, Coleman Domingo and Zendaya always have it on lock. They always be pretty much a hit when it comes to the fashions. Every time you see them on the red carpet, I'm gagging every time I watch them. Everybody else on this list is hit and miss. Cardi B having her moments. Beyonce. She ain't never been that girl when it comes to the fashion. Yeah, she'll come out with some cute little outfits or whatever, but she was never that girl when it came to the fashions. To me, I always felt like Rihanna was the one that was really pushing forth the whole fashion avant-garde type stuff and working the red carpet with her clothes. Beyonce just get up there with that long hair and then damn gowns and be thinking that's enough. Great gowns, beautiful gowns, in the words of the late great Aretha. Now they have the Post Award nomination, 85 South Show. Baby, this is Keke Palmer, not tight ass Charlemagne the Goddess. Then they got Don Lemon, Drewski, It Is What It Is, Joe and Jada. Well, I love them, but Joey Crab be getting on my damn nerves sometimes. Like he don't never know how to just be quiet, let other people talk. On the Radar and R&B Money podcast. Best Female R&B Pop Artist, Ari Lennox, Coco Jones, Ella Mai, Jill Scott, Kalani, Mariah the Scientist, Olivia Dean, SZA, and Tim's. Best Male R&B Pop Artist, Brent Faiyaz, Bruno Mars. Bruno is... I ain't even going there. Bryson Tiller, Chris Brown, Duran Bernard, who's out here heavily promoting that new album. And I know he's getting in trouble because he said some shit about Tank, and Tank went and responded. Givian, Leon Thomas, October London, and Usher. Well, Usher put out ass music this year, so no, he don't get the award. Now, Best Group, 41, Clips, De La Soul, Flow, French Montana and Max B, Metro Boomin and DJ Spins, Nas and DJ Premier, Terrace Martin and Kenyon Dixon, Wizkid and Asake. And then let's go to Best Male Hip Hop Artist. We got ASAP Rocky, Baby Keem, Big X the Plug, The Baby, Don Toliver, who I know has a show at the Garden on June 1st. Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and T.I. Now, Best Female Hip Hop Artist is Cardi B, Coi Leray, Doechii, Doja Cat, Glorilla, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Mona Leo, and YK Niece. And let's get into video of the year, and then we could move. Oh, let's we'll do three more, and then we done. Video of the year: 100 by Ella Mai, Anxiety by Doechii, Burning Blue, Mariah the Scientist, Channel is Chanel by Tyler, Escape Room, Tiana Taylor, Folded, Kalani, Let 'Em Know, T.I., Lufa, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA. Video director of the year: they have ASAP Rocky and Dan Straight, Anderson .Paak, Benny Boom, Cactus Jack, Cardi B and Patience Foster, Cole Bennett, X, Hype Williams. I didn't even know Hype Williams and X was still directed. And remember, he was Little X back in the day. Then he just went with X. Now they call it Director X. And now, not Tiana Spike Taylor. Best new artist, we have Belly Gang Cushington. Never heard of them. Destin Conrad. Shout out to him. I seen him perform during halftime at the Garden. He was actually good. During I think one of the Knicks games. Jay Dawn, KWN, Miles Minnick, Mona Leo, Olivia Dean, Ray, and Trap Dicky. Ray's been getting a lot of rave reviews in regards to her live performances as of late. An album of the year, then we're doing. Am I the Drama, Cardi B, Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler the Creator, Everything is a Lot by Wale, Hearts Sold Separately, Mariah the Scientist, Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips, I love that album, Mutt Deluxe, Heal, Leon Thomas, The Fall Off, J. Cole, and The Romantic by Bruno Mars. So those are some of the lists of people. Child, they got the Gospel Awards and those other stuff up in here. Actor, Young Stars Award, Best Movie, Sportswoman of the Year, Sportsman of the Year, BET Her, Viewer's Choice. And yeah, those are the list of people that we have so far. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? One of the things I will say, since we've lost so many Black-led award shows, I love that we still have the BET Awards around and that we show that, we do drive the culture. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing the BET Awards, and especially over the fact that, wait, did they say who's hosting? I don't know if we have a host. Yeah, I know we have a host. I do know that Queen Latifah is doing the American Music Awards, but they haven't really announced if anybody's hosting. I don't like these hostless award shows. Remember they tried doing that at the VMAs? That shit was stupid. So I'm definitely looking forward, and I'm sure soon after they're gonna announce who is gonna be hosting. Hopefully it's somebody like Regina Hall or something like that. Please don't get that old tap dancing coon, Kevin Hart. Because you over here letting white people say racist ass jokes to you at Netflix and thinking the shit is cute. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Bruno farts haven't made. That's what I'm gonna say. Like that, I heard that new album is ass. Funny enough, I was having a conversation with my sister the other day, and she was like, I was like, I haven't heard no new music from Bruno. I said, he put out a whole album. That's why I said I don't know if maybe they weren't promoting it or whatever the case is, but yeah, they're not even like. There's people out here who apparently don't know that Bruno Mars got new music out. I've never heard of Mariah the Scientist. I don't. Child, quiet as it's kept. I can't tell you not one Mariah the Scientist song either. But I've been seeing like. See now, I want to start no industry plant rumors because y'all be running with that. But I like whenever I'm on a lot of the blogs or whatever, and I'm scrolling looking for stories, I definitely see on a lot of the Source or the Jasmine brand or any of those type of or the Neighborhood Talk, any of those type of blogs or whatever, they do mention. I see Mariah the Scientist's name, but like you, I can't name not one damn song. And Baby Keem, I've heard of the name, but I never heard not one song from them either. Hype Williams definitely is a go. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that X is a protege of Hype Williams. I remember Hype Williams was like the go-to director back in the day. He directed everybody from Jay-Z, Usher, Beyonce, anybody who was anybody worked with Hype Williams. He even directed Belly. And you could definitely see like the visuals of Hype Williams with the color, the way he would use color in his music videos. It was always cinematic. And I loved it. Like the slow-mo tracking shot, or there'd be like certain rooms, it'd be like this real blue, like this hard blue color. And I used to just love the color coordinations that he would do or the color contrast, whatever you want to use with the word. I would just love the way he would use color in his music videos. So Hype Williams definitely is the GOAT. Isn't her? And speaking of industry plans, child, I couldn't even name not one. Well, I guess I could name her song "Kill Bill" because we just talked about it. But I was never really big on. Oh, and not was it? No, that's not her. That's SZA. What am I talking about? I can't name not one her song. All I know about her is she get up there with all that hair and play a guitar. His good choppy cut editing was great. He said, "Do you know who I was listening to earlier today? Doja Cat. I'm starting to think that we're currently watching the expiration date of so many of the artists that debuted in the late 2010s. Yeah, we got to see, like, everybody will be here talking about this one and that one, but it's like, will they be able to stand the test of time? 10 years from now, 15 years from now, all that stuff. So, I don't think so. And Doja Cat, I know a friend of mine goes hard for her, but I'm just like, it's no shade. I just don't see it. I don't see it for her. Like I try to get into her stuff. She just she just don't do it for me. Now, speaking of some people who really don't be doing it for me, but they apparently was nominated and will be performing at the American Music Awards. Let's talk about the American Music Awards. So apparently they said that as y'all know, I think the American Music Awards in the next couple of days. This is on Memorial Day weekend. Well, this week is Memorial Day weekend. So I believe it is on this coming Monday or Sunday will be the American, it says it in the article. I'll just have to read it. But the American Music Awards is happening this weekend, and the Pussycat Dolls featuring Busta Rhymes, because apparently they acting like this is the year 2002. They're gonna be performing "Don't Ya" at the AMAs, and it reached number two on the. Okay, it was 2005. It reached number two on the Billboard Hot 100 in August of 2005. The booking comes 20 years after the Pussycat Dolls first performed on the AMAs singing Buttons, a number three hit on the Hot 100 in September 2010. Did any of these songs ever go number one? It seemed like y'all were always these top five girls. Now, the Dolls announced on May 4th that the newly reunited group, now a trio, had canceled all but one of its North American PCD Forever tour dates because it's a homosexual event. Like I said many times, the mid ass gays will show up to an envelope opener as long as you give hairography, you got that Beyonce diva fan on, and you dress half naked, like you just got off of work for being a courtesan. Now the Dolls and what was it? And they said oh yeah, because it's at the WeHo Festival in Los Angeles. Now the Pussycat Dolls feature Busta Rhymes join New Kids on the Block, Billy Idol, Carol G, Tiana Taylor, Hootie and the Blowfish. When the last time we heard a Hootie song? Keith Urban, Maluma. I'll be fast forwarding the hell out of this damn episode. Riley Green, Somber, Cat's Eye, minus Minogue, 21 Pilots, and Teddy Swims are previously announced the show performance, and I'll probably announce more as they go along. Now, Queen Latifah will host the special, which airs live coast to coast on Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And Queen Latifah did host the AMAs 30 years ago. So now the 52 Annual American Music Awards, will air on CBS and stream on Paramount Plus on Memorial Day for the second year in a row. This is the second AMA telecast since it returned following a 2.5-year hiatus, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So, okay, I'm quiet as I ain't all that excited for some of the people on here. Let me go back and see who's in here. New Kids on the Block, I might be interested to see what they give, because I love watching the OGs, see if they still got it. And if they can hit them notes. I mean, I know y'all can't hit the notes like I used to, but like, see how y'all still holding up after all these years. Kind of like the Backstreet Boys. Billy Idol, child, I heard he was sounding a mess when he did that recent performance with Avril Lavigne. But I definitely want to check that out. Carol G, I do like her. Tiana Taylor, I live for her, even though her music career didn't really take off the way it could have or it should have. I definitely want to see what she gives. I can give two shits about a fucking Hootie, a Keith Urban. Maluma gonna give y'all the same he always gives, but he cute to look at, so I'm gonna just watch for that. Riley Green, I don't know her, and even if it was a him, I don't know her still. Somber, he is about to do 2 nights at the Garden in September, so I'll probably watch that one. Cat's Eye, I could give a good goddamn about them broads. 21 Pilots, next. Teddy Swims, I love the voice, but I don't care. And then Pussycat Dolls, I'll probably watch what they're giving, but child, I saw a recent performance with them earlier. And child, if I showed y'all what them broads gave, y'all gonna gag. Now I gotta show y'all this clip. And I gotta mute it though. I saw a recent performance with them. Child, they was eating them up in the comments. So yeah, let me show y'all this, because I was like, here's the thing about PCD. What y'all should have did back in the day, or not even back in the day, but what you should have did when y'all were talking about doing this Pussycat Dolls reunion. To test the waters, you should have went around doing live performances, meaning let me do the American Music Awards. Let me do all these other award shows. Let me make an appearance on this talk show or this event, like the iHeart Music. If that's coming up, like let's do the. I'm just throwing award shows out. Let's do the iHeart Radio Awards. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Also release new music so that way people can get excited for this upcoming tour. That's what y'all should have did to test the waters. But y'all decided to put the cart before the horse, and now y'all was out here looking a hot ass mess, and now you look stupid, and now Nicole's ego has been deflated in the whole situation. So hold on, because I was like, let me make it smaller so y'all can see the full effect. So yeah, the way they was performing, I'm like, girl, this is what y'all giving? And they was eating them up in the comments. So yeah, even though y'all only got 3 of the girls, Ashley and Kimberly, y'all got 2 female backup dancers to make it look fuller, like y'all got the backup dancers, y'all all over the place. Oh, I guess they do got more than one, more than the 2 backup dancers. I got a couple of other girls in there. But I'm like, and they're doing when I go up. So yeah, I mean when I grow up. So yeah, y'all can, and I said this is what they was gonna give. We're gonna do the ha 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 ha. Nicole gonna handle all the heavy lifting. They'll come in and do ha 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 hoo he. That don't take much. You can just throw a he and a hoo in the shit. They'll make it sound like it's on because they're not the singers, they're the dancers. Nicole's gonna handle all the singing. She get all the money and the residuals because she put in all the work. And yeah, this is what she was given in this whole situation. And people were saying like they moving kind of slow. Well, and Child Nicole didn't even do the bend and snap. The other girls over there, I'm giving you hairography. I'm a bend down. I'm a snap back and throw the hair back. And so yeah, there was that. We'll leave a pause there. And that's what they were saying, what they was giving. But hold on, because we gotta go into wait, I gotta come out of this. Because I was like, I'm gonna read y'all what they said in the comments. First of all, I gotta adjust this situation because it always gets smaller. I don't know. Stream y'all be getting my goddamn nerves when it comes down to the stuff. I was like, where's it at? Okay, so I got my other picture. Let's put that up there and let's see what the people were saying. So one person, they shouldn't have bothered. Another person said, could you imagine if they had done more promo and more performances to get the hype up for sales to actually be made for the seats? It's almost as if they didn't want the North American sales to succeed. They did nothing to help the sales go. Another person said, at 102, Nicole forgot the choreo. It happens. Well, this is, their first, it might be their first performance. Well, it is their first performance in a long time. So she's nervous. So that's what I think is what it is. I just think that she's more nervous than anything with the performance. So because look, Madonna when she was at the when she did her performance with Sabrina at the what was it at Coachella, she missed the cue. I noticed it when she came out and she forgot to put the mic to her mouth before she said strike a pose. I study how y'all be out here doing. So Madonna missed her cues too, and it happens. It's because they be nervous when it comes down to it. So um it happens. But the more I feel like they're in the pocket, the better it will get. But let's see what more the people were saying. Another person said $1,500 for this, a rather quiet show, no special effects. Nicole and the others, Kim and Ash, another others, 2 back dancers. $1,500 for that. I understand the word you said, but I got what you meant. Another person said, girl, what is this? Ash and Kim could at least sing the full choruses now. This is just nasty. Well, if they're not the singers, they're not going to be able to do them choruses. Then another person said, this feels like a crime to say, but I don't know what late middle school age me thought I was seeing when they would dance. I feel like I always saw their moves as so intense and so explosive, but watching this and even going back to older performances, they really aren't. So odd how you remember things one way only for them to be totally different in reality. They were and still good dancers, but I remember them busting out moves on par with prime Britney and Beyonce. It's just not the case. They said no wonder people are laughing in the crowd. This is just embarrassing. And then somebody also called it Nicole and the Blondes. Another person said they didn't even do club song. So it's like, what are y'all doing? So whoever is over there advising y'all, I feel like your team is dropping the ball. It is a hot ass mess over there. Y'all really need to figure out. Like, I just feel like y'all really dropped the ball with this. And as I've said many a time, you only got one time, one chance to make a first impression before people look at it like, next, y'all, this is a chop. This is a mess. What the hell was y'all thinking? Because it just looks crazy. Y'all look crazy out here. Like y'all, it looked like y'all not even trying. And quiet as it's kept, to me, when I look at the Pussycat, like when I want to see full girls in precision with the choreography and the hairography and all that stuff, I don't feel like their songs have like the weight to even be that memorable enough to even want to see all that on a stage. So y'all need to start, since y'all got a song called Club Song, y'all need to just do club dates because the whole arena, big stage situation, it just ain't it. And just everything that's been permeated from what's happened historically with the Pussycat Dolls and how all this came together, it's just too much of a mess. It's a liability, and people ain't willing to just shell out $1,500 for what y'all just saw. So I say that to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all looking forward to these boring, dry ass American Music Awards based on these boring ass performances they plan on putting together? It seems like this new crop of people that do all this radio shit, y'all are just not that. It's like American music is so boring now. Y'all not really out here just giving what needs to be given in regards to like wanting me to even get excited over watching some of these performances because y'all gonna give just straight up. I don't even know what y'all gonna give, but y'all ain't gonna give excitement because I'm not excited over some of these people that they got performing. I mean, I'll still probably fast forward and check it out just for media purposes, but I'm not all that excited for these people that's performing. And what y'all think of that messy ass performance y'all just so yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Georgia been making music before the late 2010s, but she had that breakout year in 2020 and a good follow up, and then it just all went downhill. Doja's early music from 2013 to 2016 had a bedroom R&B vibe, but do you like? I do like Janae Aiko, but she got a kid with Big Sean because she had Big Sean up in her, and got a baby from it. And look, he had Ariana Grande walking side to side. And he said Saweetie was an industry plant, but she surprisingly put out a good song with Janae Aiko. Too bad I'm not a fan of female rap like I used to be. They're always in the news and it's never for their music. Lotto is retiring to go be a bird for a married man. And yeah, she has Sexy Red and all them at the baby shower. I'm like, girl, a mess. It was nice knowing her and her two listenable songs. Because I'm like, girl, wasn't nobody checking Lotto out here? J Lo dances better than them, and that's hard for. Well, you know what? One thing I'll give Yennefer credit for is she definitely gives when it comes to the dancing and stuff. But she got some bops, but because of Yennefer's money and everything, she do have the best of the best. First of all, she has Nappy Tabs, who who does a lot of her creative direction and her dancing and all this stuff. So she always gives when it comes to the dancing. Now that attitude and her reputation, that's a whole nother conversation. And we don't get into Miss Hannah for later. We got to talk about her with these stage little, situations. But um she do dance better than them. So even say, I won't be watching that mess. And watching that shit. All right, y'all. So now let's give a huge shout out to Shakira, because Miss Thing is about to get $70 million added to her bank account because, remember back in the day, she got accused of tax fraud, and they said, y'all got to get her money back because there was no tax fraud on her end. So Shakira will receive a 60 million euro €60 million, that's about $64 million in American dollars, refund after a Spanish court ruled in her favor in a long-running dispute over her taxes. Now, on Monday, May 18th, Spain's National High Court ruled that the Spanish tax agency failed to prove that Shakira spent 183 days in the country in 2011. The minimum required to pay personal income tax. The €60 million sum comprises a refund on taxes and fines plus interest. Now, in a statement shared with Rolling Stone, the Colombian pop star celebrated the ruling, saying, "After more than 8 years of enduring brutal public targeting, orchestrated campaigns to destroy my reputation, and sleepless nights that ultimately impacted my health and my family's well-being, the National High Court has finally set the record straight. There was never any fraud, and the administration itself can never prove otherwise, simply because it wasn't true." Now, during the case, Spanish authorities tried to tie Shakira to Spain via her then new relationship with soccer star, oh yeah, that cheating ass motherfucker, Gerard Piqué. The couple began dating in 2010 and split in 2022, but the court ruled that their relationship was not the same as a marriage, per the Associated Press. The judge rather stated that the tax authority failed to prove that Spain was the main center or base of Shakira's business activities at the time. Now, ultimately, the court stated that the agency could prove only that Shakira spent 163 days in Spain in 2011. To further bolster the case, Shakira pointed out that she spent much of the year on the road, playing 121 concerts across 2011. Shakira's victory, however, won't necessarily end the dispute. Now, Spain's tax authority indicated its intention to appeal the ruling. Oh, y'all just don't want to give up that money. Suck it up, buttercup. Y'all done fucked up. Y'all try to get squeeze money out of this, out all the juice out of this lemon, and y'all fail to provide what you need to provide. Pay her money. Send it all at the same time, including the interest in the direct deposit. I don't know what her bank is, but that bank about to be real happy when they see that addition added up in the situation. Now, they said they're going to appeal the ruling to the Supreme Court and stated that no payment would be made until there is a final ruling. Well, it's not the final ruling. Now you want to bring in the Supreme Court. So I'm going to drag this out for even a couple more years just so that way they don't have to pay the money. Y'all going to end up paying it. Now, still, the musician was emphatic about what today's decision meant and pushed back against the way she was treated during the lengthy legal proceedings, saying every step of the process was leaked, distorted, and amplified using my name and public image to send a threatening message to the rest of the taxpayers. This is what Shakira said. Today, that narrative crumbles, and it does so with the full force of a court ruling. My greatest wish is that this ruling sets a precedent for the Treasury and serves the thousands of ordinary citizens who are abused and crushed every day by a system that presumes their guilt and forces them to prove their innocence at the cost of economic and emotional ruin. This victory is dedicated to them. Now, Shakira has faced other tax cases in Spain over the years. In 2023, she settled a separate fraud case for a 3-year suspended sentence and a fine of €7 million 1 day before the trial was set to begin. In that case, she was accused of failing to pay €14.5 million in income taxes between 2012 and 2014. Another investigation also into allegations of tax fraud from 2018 also opened in July of 2023, but in May of 2024, investigators ruled there was not sufficient evidence to bring additional charges. So that's all the latest we have on that. Shout out to Miss Shockey over getting over on the Spanish IRS. But yeah, like they said, they're going to try to drag this out even more because they're mad they're going to have to pay this coin back to her after wasting all this time. And I don't know if the taxpayers had the, they got caught up in the middle of all of this with this whole legality situation, like how we get caught up in taxpayer bullshit in this country. But shout outs to Shakira for this win. And hopefully, if they plan on sending it to the Supreme Court, that you'll be able to beat that system too. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the latest on Shakira, getting a $70 million payout after being acquitted for a tax fraud? and how they said that they're not going to pay her the money until it goes to the Supreme Court, even though a judge ruled and said that y'all failed to prove what you need to prove. If you can prove it with them, what makes you think you're going to be able to prove whatever you're proving with the Supreme Court, unless y'all got it the system rigged like we do out here with this current president and how he got the Supreme Court on lock. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Well, look, I will say PK is definitely a good looking man, but he's a piece of shit for what he did to her. So I don't like her for that part. But yes, he is a handsome man. Shakira doesn't bother anybody if they don't pay up my first diva. Okay, not Vivica has no range. She should just stand by for Tyler movies. Well, wasn't she at one point doing movies for like the Lifetime channel? So maybe she could go back to doing that. I know she got a movie in the theaters. The one we was talking about, Is God Is. All right. Let's move on. And that's about L Boogie. Is L Boogie up in here? Prize up in here. You know the song. I said he had a good song. I heard he had a smile. But anyway, let's stop making fun of Lauryn Hill. So Lauryn Hill's finally speaking out. Took a damn near over 30 years to do it. Because in 98, it was the last time she released her solo album. And people were wondering, how come we haven't gotten a new album since Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? Which definitely had me wondering too. So, hold on. So yeah, let's get into the tea. So for years, fans have speculated on why Lauryn Hill never released a sophomore studio album after 1998's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, a project widely considered as one of the greatest albums ever created. Now the legendary artist herself is stepping into the conversation. Recently, the media platform Frame.World, which I've never even heard of, sparked a discussion online after posting its own suggested explanation for why the X Factor artist never followed up her cult classic debut with another studio effort on Instagram. Now, according to the platform, the pressure of trying to top a masterpiece, the emotional exhaustion of that came with the frame, lack of label support, and years of lawsuits and creative ownership battles also contributed to Hill stepping away from the traditional album cycle. Yeah, because there were some people that I saw in my comments, they were saying like, yeah, she trying to act like she owned a lot of the music that was on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and didn't want to pay a lot of the people behind the scenes that worked on that album. So there's a lot of rumors circulating on who actually has ownership over the Miseducated, which they always say like that explains why a lot of times when she's performing these songs live, she be changing up the songs because she can't play the original versions, allegedly. So she said, when you're inspired and decide to be principled, what doesn't get talked about enough is the drain, nor the challenge to find safety so that you can create with integrity. Most see opportunity as dollars only and often exclude the sense. This is what she wrote in the comments. The rapper also addressed the public's complicated relationship with artistic experimentation, specifically referencing her MTV Unplugged number 2.0 project. She said, while success can cause greed and begins to degenerate the art of the money. We're people living through all this. These conversations should allow for more nuance. Artists go through phases. Creativity requires expression, exploration, and experimentation. There were people who hated the Unplugged album, and yet some today swear by its significance. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill became both a cultural and commercial phenomenon, earning Hill 10 Grammy nominations and winning half of those, that's 5, in case you're sucking math, making history as the first hip hop album to receive the honor. Still, the singer rapper actress made it clear that she views her legacy as larger than simply releasing another album. According to Hill, her work helped inspire an entire generation of artists to reach for the highest levels of success, saying creativity is most potent when it's free. If I did nothing else, I introduced standards and possibilities to a generation that didn't know they could operate on that level before then. Okay, girl, with all that highfalutin, high deity bullshit, with me getting through all of that, I get what she was saying. What she was saying, like, you know what? It was probably due to the fact that because of the success of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which a lot of people hold that album to a high regard. I believe there's even theses, I don't even know the more plural thesis, that have been done on this album. There are also many conversations that I've seen that still happen, many a blog, many a podcast, where they break down this record and talk about like all the things that they pull from the album. So yes, this is a culturally significant record that many people, especially of this current generation, have taken inspiration from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Then I saw people throwing in the comments, "Oh, I'm disappointed because she always be late for the show." I mean, all that live stuff be damned. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I feel like maybe a lot of this stems from the fact that the label wanted another Miseducation record, and it's like, I already did that album. I want to be able to stretch and do other things. And maybe the label that she was on didn't want to take that risk. And so there's a lot of conflict that comes with that. And with some artists, what they'll do is, okay, well, I'm not going to give y'all another album then. Like, I don't know how many albums she owes in her contract or she needs to put out records or whatever the case is. But if she decided, you know what, I'm no longer going to put out a record because I want to create on my own time, then that's fine. Also, we live in a time now where you could just be completely independent, put out your own music and do it that way. Unless, like I said, she owes money. I mean, owes money. She owes albums from her label. And unless she releases music, yeah, that's going to be tied with the label. And they're going to own all that stuff. And she can't just do things on her own accord unless they release her from her contract and she goes independent. So if there's something in her where she wants to go independent, I would like to hear more music from Lauryn. But if she only wants to just give us like she did with the Fugees, they only gave us one album with the score. So they were a one group album having wonder, and she's a solo one album wonder. So we have that. And she did the one album as a solo act, she did one album in a part of a group. The only one I think that out of all of them that put out multiple albums might have been Wyclef. Because I remember there was this boy I used to have a crush on. He was obsessed with Wyclef. Danny Rosado. Child, I remember the name. That was him in high school. I used to have a crush on this little Spanish boy with muscles. I was like, oh, they built boys like this in high school. I used to be all up on that, and I didn't even give a fuck he had a baby mama. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Let me not get back into my Horace high school days. But yeah, anyway, so shout out to you, Lauryn. And yeah, so I definitely want to hear from y'all. Why do you think, oh wait, hold on, I pressed the wrong button. Why do you guys think that she never released another solo album? Do you feel like you believe what she's saying? She said a whole bunch of gibberish without really giving a real answer. It's like, to me, it just seemed like it was just a lot of politics that played into the music industry that may have burned her from wanting to create. And there's always this thing of like the overall pressure of constantly having to feed this beast that is the music industry in order to maintain some sort of relevancy. And I guess, with some people, once they get a piece or taste of the other side of the success of being a musical artist, some people ain't with the shits. And it's just like, I gotta have my whole integrity. And it could be that line that we're gonna take for one of her songs. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? And maybe she just wasn't right within or right with what was going on. It was like, you know what, I'm out. And I just don't want to partake in the business, political aspects of the music business. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. When's the last time you watched Paris is Burning? You want us don't even I was thinking about that movie the other day. It's probably been a year. I watched it last year. It's long overdue. Look, Pride is literally right around the corner, so I may have to revisit that film. I love Paris is Burning. I watched that movie so many times I lost count. So I might do a Paris is Burning rewatch, and then of course I'll just revisit. I might watch Pose again. The 1968 Odd Couple is a classic. It grossed 4.4 million, or is that 44 million? Was the second highest grossing film in '68. Was that the Odd Couple? Was that with Walter Matthau? They should count Miss Hill's Unplugged album because that is truly her best. I remember when I was growing up and MTV Unplugged, they ran that shit in the ground. Even when I was at VH1, I remember they were playing that because I worked in the live music department where we did storytellers and all that stuff. So she was the Sky Ferreira of the 90s. She couldn't release anything. Nope. And well, there's many reasons why people said that Scott Ferrer kind of been burned by the industry. If Michael Jackson is so untouchable, why is this the first time he topped Spotify? How come he didn't top the Spotify charts in 1983? I feel bad because Spotify didn't exist in 1983. I feel bad for the kid. He was told this is why. And almost took me a minute. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was one of the first albums to get analyzed on YouTube before everyone started making video essays on that album. I had the album on repeat, but like many artists who aren't active, I got exactly. It's like there's only so many times you can listen to Everything Is Everything. It's Danny Rosado, not Rosario. I don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't looked up a lot of the people I grew up with in school. There was one girl I used to keep in contact with, Marcia, when I was in elementary school. We were like close friends or whatever, but that was like back in the MySpace days. Ever since then, and I think it was like when I had an old Facebook before I think I lost that when I had to start over. I think we was following each other then. And then um I lost, after a while I lost contact with people. Wade and existed. Mom should have swallowed. Yeah, he's getting scalpers because this generation only knows Spotify but fails to realize who are we talking about? Are we talking about Drake? Creative freedom is the reason why artists should not be signed to a major label. Once you have their fan bases wrapped around your finger, that's when you can make waves. Absolutely. And that's I remember one time when I was a kid and I was at my when I was, I was at home from school and Nirvana Unplugged was on. I remember there was these guys that had to come over and fix something and I was at the house. And I remember I had that on and we were having a whole conversation about Nirvana Unplugged. But yeah, that was a good one too. But I do agree with you on this, is that that's why I love artists like with Adam Lambert, who said that I'm independent and I'm funding this all myself. But somebody asked him, they were like, why are you having to fund it all yourself? And I'm sitting there thinking, are you dumb? Like when you fund your own project, labels cannot tell you what the fuck to do. It's literally your money going into the thing. And you can launch a label and just as long as you have somebody that can print CDs, print vinyls that you could give autographs on it, that's putting up money for that. Um, you have the thing where you can sign up and put your music on Spotify, you put your music on Apple Music, and there's a whole thing with that. It's easier to get your music out there. And especially if you're a well-established artist like an Adam Lambert, you don't need the backing of a label. And then he also said, because you could do it yourself. And if your fans know, he says if you do the pre-orders, it definitely helps because it counts with the points and all that other stuff. And you got to be out here algorithm hustling because, according to Lizzo, the algorithms, nobody knows she got a new album coming out. But I'm like, girl, you be giving us the same music since about that time, and you ain't really evolved as an artist. So we know about it, we just don't give a fuck. So um I do agree. It's like once you have your little established fan base, fuck what you heard. Like all that money goes directly to you. You get 100% of the proceeds. You don't have to, I mean, yeah, you got to pay your engineers, your producers, and co-writers, whatever. All they can get their little payments if you ain't paid up front already. But you get to recoup 100% of the earnings once you are independent. And people don't realize that it's so much easier now to create and put music together. So without the backing of a label, especially if you're established. Did you clock Bad Bunny nominated for a BET Award? Lord, I missed you talking about the nominations. I did talk about the nominate. Well, Chad, you want to rewind. Rewind the tape. But it's digital, but Senate is advancing a bill to end the Iran war. The leader of the Senate flipped to the Dems. Well, good for them, because we don't need this damn stupid ass war. I said, bitch, you need to rewind this video. I am not going back to give my opinion. um, okay, so now Speaking of rewind, let's take it back to the 90s since we already there. We could stay there. And it's been around the same year this song came out. Well, around the same time because it was 97 when Aqua came out with Barbie Girl. But guess what? After 30 damn years, Aqua is breaking up. This got to be the gayest story we probably told on this. But yes, Aqua best known for Barbie Girl. Y'all can say that's probably their only hit. First of all, I was a fan. They had Bumblebees, Happy Boys and Girls. Um, what else? Lollipop Candyman. That was my shit. Back in the day, I was a big old cartoon heroes. They had so many songs, but Barbie Girl was their biggest hit. They even got sampled many a times. They even got sampled by Nicki Minaj and who was the other one that she did it with? Oh, Ice Spice, her Down syndrome looking ass. So apparently, they said the Danish Eurodance group responsible for the 1997 hit Barbie Girl announced they were breaking up in a statement shared to Instagram on Monday, May 18th. And it was in their language, which what did I guess they speak Norwegian, but oh, they also have it in English. So they said, yeah, after many incredible years, we have decided to close a chapter of Aqua as a live band. Aqua has been such a huge part of our lives, and together we had the chance to experience more than we ever dared to dream of. We've traveled the world countless times, met so many wonderful people, sung together with millions of you, and shared memories that we will carry with us forever. When you've been together for this long, you also learn when it's time to protect what you've created together. For us, this feels like the right moment to say goodbye while the memories are still strong and while the love for the music, the story, and each other remains intact. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to everyone who has been part of this journey over the past 30 years. Thank you for the love, the energy, the support, and for all the moments we share together. Nothing but love and gratitude from here on. Endless love, Lene, Renee, and Soren. Because I forgot there was four of them. And I believe that one of them left the group and they decided not to, I guess, tour together anymore. So now it's a trio. If I'm not mistaken, I think the guy with the blonde hair is the one who left the group and all the other stuff. So people in the comments, what they said. Thank you for the music. For my friends and I, the party isn't a real party without a few Aqua songs. Look, I was into the whole cheesy Eurodance music. I would listen to Aqua and the Venga Boys. Remember them? The Venga bus is coming, and jumping from New York and San Francisco, and this whatever fucking disco. It's like, look, I used to live for that song, and then it became the Six Flags song. Anyway, so another person said, so disappointing and sad for the fans and unexpected. Not only that, no new music. You could have at least released Hero as a goodbye gift. Child, they ain't released new music since what they said, because it says it in here. I think since like 2018. That's the last time they released music. Another person said, it's your 30th anniversary next year of Aquarium. People want to see it. Yeah, because they had Aquarium, they had I think they had Aquarius. Now they said you guys, along with the Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys, Marilyn Manson, TLC, No Doubt, Garbage, Alanis Morissette, and Hanson, make us 90 kids fly high in the sky. Thanks for the music, guys. You will always be alive and present in our hearts and in our ears. So there's that, but then they also went on to say, okay, so the group burst onto the scene in 1997, in case you need a little history lesson, with their debut album Aquarium and featured Barbie Girl in its lyrics like I'm a blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world. Now in 2000, Barbie's parent company, Mattel, sued Aqua's then label MCA Records and claimed the song violated Barbie's trademark and sexualized the kid's toy. I mean, child, quiet as it's kept, people used to always take Barbie damn clothes off. So she was already sexualized. I was being one of them as a kid. I was stripping Barbie and making her hunch Ken. So I knew about all that even when I was a kid. So we didn't need Aqua to pretty much reveal the elephant in the room. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2002 after a court ruled it was protected under a work of parody under the First Amendment, and Mattel later used the song in a promotional video for Barbie dolls. People said they could have used the song in the Barbie movie. So Barbie, y'all was so damn stupid. Y'all was out here trying to Mattel. Y'all were trying to be slick, and it backfired. But but yeah, it was used under parody, similar to Weird Al Yankovic. Like if Weird Al, he wouldn't have no career if he wasn't like if he wasn't parodying all the songs that he was parodying. Madonna, Michael Jackson, so many people he parodied. The group made a resurgence in 2023 after their signature hit was reworked by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice for the Barbie movie, which earned the band a new wave of stateside success in the form of a top 10 hit, 2 Grammy noms, a U.S. tour, and a spot on the lineup of Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest in 2024. Now, speaking of people that same year, keyboardist Soren Rosted said of the group's renewed success, "It's been out of this world fantastic." Now, prior to 2023, Aqua hadn't toured the U.S. since Barbie Girl. So, yeah, it's been a minute since they've been out here doing what they've been doing. And yeah, they haven't released music in a long time, but they were just touring off them songs, and it was clearly enough. They had a couple of bops, they had a lot of hits, and you know what? In these day and age, it's all about the nostalgia. So that's what people were living for. So, shout out to y'all. Yeah, y'all break it up. And it's funny because I had some people in my in other comments and in my comments, some people was like, I thought they broke. I mean, I didn't even know they were still around. I was like, yeah, you're not gonna hear that. I mean, unless, like they said, they performed at Pride. So um there's that. And then they did the thing with New Year's Rockin' Eve. And then, of course, they had the revival because of the Barbie movie. So, of course, that went hand in hand because that was a way to bring them back up. But yeah, they've been touring excessively overseas for many years. And I think they did a couple of the festivals out here in America. But for the most part, yeah, they haven't released music in a long time. So, shout out to y'all. And I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of the story of the news regarding Aqua breaking up after 30 years? I guess, when you get to a certain age, you don't want to be out here singing them kitty ass songs. We could just live for those vicariously in our brain. Because I remember I was out somewhere and they played the Barbie Girl song. The people went crazy. It might have been the Garden when they had that song come on and people was going in. So that the song is definitely a classic. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Excuse me. I just named all the songs. Girl, it was a group. It was a group, a mess. Lord, have they looked? Mm. He said, "Man, I miss those Eurodance crossovers. I used to love Cascada too. I think she has a new song. Cascada's not actually her name. Her name is Natalie, but I think she came out with a recent, like a new song, whatever. I don't remember the name of it because it was like passive listening or whatever. But yeah, Cascada. I used to love Every Time We Touch and all those songs. That would take me back to the days of like the 2000s. That's when them Eurodance songs was lit. I'm gonna look up those songs, Kris, after you made me gag from Centipede. Well, I had to bring up Centipede. What's your favorite Eurodance song and group? I'm asking the whole class personally. I'm big on erotic. Help me, Dr. Dick and Sex on the Phone are some of my best dance songs. Well, I like a lot of the Euro dance stuff from back in the day, like Technotronic, Pump the Jam, and Hadaway, What Is Love? That was like Euro dance. So I like a lot of those songs, but of course when you had remember Gina G, ooh, I just a little bit, ooh, I just a little bit, ooh, I a little bit more. Remember that song back in the day? Gina G, she had that one damn hit on that album. I can't believe I bought that record too. That I used to love. Of course, I love Ultranate. She didn't necessarily Euro dance, but she had some songs. Amber, This Is Your Night, and she had a couple of songs, Sexual, Lead ID. And then we had of course, Crystal Waters, but she was like more or less house. Jocelyn Enriquez. Jocelyn Enriquez used to flirt with sort of freestyle and stuff, but she also did like the Euro dance stuff. Kim Petras sampled the classic Better Off Alone. Oh yeah, Alice DJ, that was another one. I used to live for Alice DJ. That's Eurodance too. You said, did you like Gunther, the one who did the ding dongs? I don't remember that song. Not Hunchin' Ken. I used to hit garbage is a key. But I love me some Shirley Manson. He said, love me some Weird Al. Prince just had to stop him from. First of all, Prince was so fucking annoying. A genius, but took himself way too damn seriously. Whatever happened to parody music? We don't. Yeah, we definitely need to bring that back. But it's like, a lot of these people don't really do that anymore. It's like, yeah, but you gotta find people out here that's really funny, and it's hard to do that. Better than Skilo from the '90s. Child, I don't even remember Skilo. You said evacuate the dance floor. Yeah, that was another good one too. Ace of Base, the one that was one of the albums every kid had on the block and in school. First of all, we had what was it, 103.5 KTU. So they played a lot of the Beat of New York. They used to play a lot of, I don't even know if what they still play on there anymore, but when I was growing up, they had a lot of and it was hot. Was it Hot 103 before they turned into Hot 97? So they used to play a lot of the freestyle and the Euro dance and all that stuff. So I would grow. So I would grow that. Not Alexa play Venga Boys. I'm glad my Alexa didn't, hear that. Corona, Rhythm of the Night. Oh yeah, I love those songs. Show Me Love, Crystal Waters. Y'all better tell it. I was practically jumping up and down when they played Cascada on UK versus the World as a lip sync song. They also played Venga Boys 2 one time. They need to bring a lot of those songs back because those were fun songs. Oh yeah, I used to love me some Real McCoy, the first album. Then they got rid of the other two girls and kept OJ, the white dude, and then um they were trying to duplicate the success. And that One More Time song, it was cute, but I was like, y'all don't have it like y'all had it back in the day, which was Another Night, Runaway. Those are my songs. Song Yeet, yes, I used to live for her. She was a DJ turned singer. I don't think there was many people that was doing that back then. Feel So Good. I remember, I think somebody sampled that song recently. I can't remember who, but I was listening to a DJ mix and they used her, they redid that song. But yeah, I used to love me some So Neat. But I think she was like a one album wonder. Prince Judge Ace of Base, but Michael Jackson loved Beautiful Life, and I'll send the video. He was into it. Well, because Prince be acting like he was just the king of every damn thing. It's like, Queen, go sit your little 4'9" ass down somewhere with your fucked up hips. Because you had your hips was fucked up from them wearing them damn heels because you ain't like being Lil Kim height. And sit out here judging every damn body. Are we fans of wait, especially when BB Rexa went and covered it? He hated that song when it first came out. I'm like, this song is so stupid. But it ended up growing on me, and it was probably because radio played it so damn much. Beautiful Life was the best song he heard in 15 years. Prince was a true queen. Okay. Yes, original and BB Rexa. I think a Darude track wasn't that in the pilot of Queer as Folk? Remember the scene when Brian and Justin went to Brian Loft and Brian was in the tidy whities? I think during that scene when they was about to hunch, they played Darude. It's funny how I remember that, but I was like, yeah, I used to live for them. Well, him, I don't remember what Darude looked like, but he said not Lil Kim height. I mean, he was short. All right, so now speaking of petite, let's talk about Kylie Minogue. So Kylie Minogue has a new docu-series hitting Netflix tomorrow. I've been seeing a lot of the promos behind it. She's been overseas, so hopefully it was coming out in London. It's coming out in the US too. But yeah, she's been doing a lot of promoting of the docu-series and stuff. So I'm thinking that we should be getting it too because we love Kylie in the States. So we definitely want to see that. And I've been hearing she's been promoting it like crazy, doing a lot of crazy interviews. I think I saw she did an interview with the Gay Times talking about like how much she has love for the queer community, and we know it's genuine. She's not one of these girls that just jump on the bandwagon. And the one time she went to a Kylie lookalike contest and how she said she was the least Kylie in the room. And she said, I just went where I just had my hair curly. I didn't even try to get all glammed up. I just like, they were like, you want to go? It's Kylie night. So, okay, let's do it. But now, with all this being said, she's also supposed to be dropping a new song to coincide with the docu-series. So she, of course, it makes sense that she would record a song. But she also let it slip because I don't know if y'all know this, but next year, 2027, marks 40 years that Kylie Minogue has been a pop star. So that's a huge milestone, similar to Madonna having her milestone a couple of years ago when she did the Celebration tour. Now, Kylie's about to hit her milestone because, she came out and broke big in 87 during, doing Neighbors and the Stockake and Waterman days and all that stuff. And all of that is apparently covered in her relationship with Michael Hutchins and so many other things in this upcoming docuseries, that's 3 parts. So she let it slip that, yeah, she's going to be going out on tour in celebration of her 40 years in music. Now, speaking to the Sunday Times Style magazine, the 57-year-old pop icon, speaking of which, she looked good, in the interviews and stuff I was seeing. The 57-year-old pop icon was asked whether she had plans to mark the milestone with a tour. She said, I'm probably not meant to say this, but yes, I am. Now, Minogue launched her pop career in 1987 while still starring in Australian TV soap Neighbours with a cover of The Locomotion, which became a #1 hit in Australia. The 40th anniversary tour would take place in 2027. Now, this interview comes days before the premiere of Kylie, a 3-part Netflix documentary series dropping on May 20th. Directed by Emmy and BAFTA award winner Michael Hart, the team behind Beckham, Wham, and still a Michael J. Fox movie, and produced by John Batsek's Ventureland. Now, the series features insights from Danny Minogue, Jason Donovan, Nick Cave, and Pete Waterman, drawing on personal archives, home movies, and new interviews with Minogue herself. The documentary covers Minogue's 2005 breast cancer diagnosis and the personal loss and public scrutiny she has faced across 5 decades in the spotlight. Minogue said she felt a knot of excitement and nerves about the series dropping, saying there was so much to get through. How the hell do you tell the story? She said. I've been asked by so many people to do a documentary in the past, but I've never done anything like this before. Well, I live differently. Will people relate to me differently? Some people will never have heard of me. She also revealed the emotional toll of writing a new original song for the documentary closing sequence. She said, I worked so hard on it. It was like rolling a rock up a hill. I spent so many solitary hours working, working, working. Now, elsewhere in the interview, Minogue spoke about her current listening habits, name-checking rising Australian artists Somber, Wolf, Alice, and Coldplay, and revealed her ambitions to return to acting, saying, "I would love to do a musical, to act again, to be in the hands of a director who can get me there." Now, Minogue has sold over 80 million records worldwide across a career spanning 5 decades, with her debut album Kylie being released in '88 and peaking at number 53 on the Billboard 200 the following year. Her 2001 single Can't Get You Out of My Head reached #1 across Europe and becoming one of pop's most enduring anthems. Her most recent studio album Tension produced the viral hit Badam Badam, and May 20th is when the Kylie docu-series premieres. You know what, this has got me excited because it was like, yeah, how do you approach a documentary or docu-series, either one for that matter, and especially something spanning 4 decades? Like, how do you get up in there? So they said they accumulated a lot of stuff. They would just interview her over the years when she decided to finally say yes to the thing, and juxtapose it throughout the whole situation, so it worked that way, where it was just different iterations of interviewing her regarding, all the stuff that they were, and then kind of like just reminiscing. And I think that's a greater approach rather than just, I'm going to follow you around for like a year or two and just record all the time like it's a reality show and so we can, you know, pull something from that. I think this would be a great approach if they decide to do a docu-series on, Madonna's career. If they decide to do something like that, that would be exciting because, we love when they do the documentaries, or Madonna does documentaries and highlights a lot of what was going on in her career, especially when we looked at I'm Gonna Tell You a Secret and so many things like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this docu-series when it finally launches on Netflix. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you excited to see this new Kylie docuseries? I mean, if I'm doing a show tomorrow, most likely I'll probably have to give y'all my overall thoughts when the next time I'm around doing a show. Cause I don't know if I'll be able to like, okay, I'm gonna get up early in the morning and watch it and then give y'all a show afterwards. I don't know. It all depends on if I could squeeze the time of watching a 3 hour docuseries in my schedule because I want to pay close attention to it and not just have it on in the background and glancing up every now and again while I'm trying to put a show together for y'all, you know, because that's usually what I do when I'm on YouTube. Is like I'll be watching stuff in the background. I'll have background noise on while I'm working on putting a show together for you guys. So I definitely want to give something like that my divided attention. So I don't know how it's all going to turn out, but we will definitely talk about it on this show. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. He said, oh yeah, Faithless. Like I said, what's the name's Dido's brother was in Faithless, Rollo, which is now working with BB Rexa on original music. And first of all, I like Faithless because Faithless was sort of like it's hard to explain. They were doing all different genres of music in the electronic field. Lord, Kylie stay on tour. The slow disco mix is the shit. Well, one of the things about Kylie, she says that like recording music or being in the studio, that's her safe space. So she loves performing. She loves being in the studio. She likes doing those things. And um, if you love what you do, you're gonna keep doing it until you can't do it no more. So um that's why I live for her. She loves doing, the shows and all that. So I'm not gonna be mad at her if she wants to keep getting out there. Every 2 years, I'm gonna put out a new album. Every couple of years, I'm gonna put out a tour. Josh Sass, the minute I see you, you basically ruined the idea. Yeah, that was the ex who had like this awkward interview where they was about, yeah, you was in the music video, blah 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 blah, and she's, I don't know, it was a mess. I mean, he's a good looking guy, but clearly something went bad in that relationship. Yes, Kylie looks good for an older white woman. Mm-mm. I was short Gemini queen. Yeah, she is a Gemini. But then Madonna copied Kylie for Confessions on the Dance Floor. No, she didn't. I mean, Fever did come out before Confessions, but Fever wasn't really like dance music. It had like dance tracks on it. It was very pop. It had a lot electro. I feel like she went deeper. Kylie went more into the dance music realm. I feel like there's light years too, but no, that sounds nothing like Confessions. Also, I should say that Kylie used Stuart Price on Aphrodite, which in my opinion was her better one of my favorite records coming from Kylie. I can listen to that from beginning, middle, and end. I do like when she experiments and tries different things, like she did with the album that had speakerphone on it. Then when she went R&B, that was like when she was really experimenting with that record. But no, I don't think she copied Kylie because they were both around the same time doing electronic music, but it was just like different the way they were doing their stuff. But yeah, she did bring Stewart on when she did the Aphrodite record. And Netflix is also getting attention to. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring that up too. The Attention Tour is coming to Netflix. So if y'all haven't seen that, I know you starting shit. It's like, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. No, Madonna Dance album was different. Kylie never made it as a club set. Fever had your normal stops, not nonstop. Yeah, that was the difference that differentiated them. And Kylie does do dance music on it. Yeah, it was X. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember it. I like that tour too. The X album I definitely love because it was very experimental. She was doing electro pop and all these different sounds and things on there. Like I love speakerphone and heartbeat rock and so many different songs that she was trying on that record. Let me try to find a way to pirate watch the new Kylie doc. Oh yeah, because you don't have I forgot you said you don't have Netflix. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if anybody's talked about if we're getting it over here in the US, but I'm assuming it's Netflix is gonna be a worldwide situation. Like Kylie got fans everywhere. So I'll definitely be watching. And I watch it. Remember when they called her a singing budgie? I'm like, what the fuck is a budgie? But apparently that's it's a shady comment. But anyway, y'all, so we down to our final four topics. So before we get to our final four topics of the evening, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode. It's Kris Avalon Unfiltered. We also have super chats. We have super stickers. You can get those if you like, but also hit that like and subscribe, smash the notification bell, hit the hype the channel, all that good stuff. It definitely helps with the algorithm and getting the show out there for more eyes on it and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's talk about Jennifer Lopez. So Ms. Lopez is apparently being dragged and getting a lot of backlash because she was exiting a hotel in New York and people were clowning her over the whole situation of trying to clear the path so they could get a clear shot of her as she was exiting the hotel so that way she could get in her car and go about her business. Because I believe she has a new movie coming out. But one of the guys from Ted Lasso is, I think he wrote it and directed, I'm not sure. But there's a guy from Ted Lasso who's co-starring with her in it. And I believe he wrote the script. And she's got this new rom-com that's coming out that's going straight to Netflix. So I think she's on a promotional trail regarding that. But I will say this, I have a clip of the situation that people was mocking her over. So let's get into that clip and we gonna come back and we gonna talk. Please hold.
Sir. Guys.
You see her standing there. This lady is sending me with the damn phone.
Katie.
And it was getting mad.
Sir.
Okay, so I'm trying to say, what is the people saying in the comments? Somebody said, I don't think anybody cares anymore. Another person said, Kenny, please. The way she waited for everyone. Another said, wow, the lady with the baby had to rush out. Nice. Another person said, I wouldn't pay a moment's attention to anyone rushing me anywhere. Child, that wasn't a real New Yorker. Y'all, that was probably a New York plant. They were like, fuck y'all. I'm going to take my goddamn time walking through it. You can kiss my ass. Because, that's all her security team that was up in there pushing forth all that stuff. So yeah, the people just clowning her. But you wanna know something? I'm gonna say this. I'm not at any point mad at her over this. I know color me crazy for even thinking that, but I'm like, everybody making a big deal out of the situation. Um, I don't mind that she decided to stage a photo op. Quiet as it's kept, all these artists do that. They sit up in here and they call the damn paparazzi to show up at places like the Ivy, whatever restaurant they at, the beach, like Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi, who apparently are dating now. So now, you got people, when they stage the beach photos, or who was it that was doing that? Jessica Alba and that other queen, that other one that she dating, Danny Ramirez. You got all these people out here that be staging little photo ops so that way you can get their good photos. And she's like, I look too good for this neck. Okay, that's Remy. But I look too good in this situation to pass all this up. So I need y'all to get these photos, these shots, or whatever. So it's all part of the fakeness of Hollywood. But I may not be mad at the situation because I understand how the game is played. But people online didn't like this whole situation with her and this whole stage photo op. So one person wrote, this is peak celebrity nonsense. Jennifer Lopez literally waiting for the crowd to clear before doing a 20-foot walk to her car just to stage her paparazzi exit. I'm so over celebrity culture. And that seems like there is a lot of backlash when it comes to this whole situation because it seems like to me like a lot of this new generation, they don't care about all that fake celebrity stuff. Jennifer is a woman of a certain age. She's in her mid-50s. This is something that has been going on since she's been in her career for almost 30 years. So this is what they do. This is what she knows. This is what she's good at. And she's going to keep milking it until she can't milk it no more. Calling the paparazzi, telling the car, I'm here at this place. I'm coming down around this time. Get your cameras up and start snapping your photos and go sell them to TMZ or whatever. A second said, totally full of herself. Another exclaimed, this is next level narcissism. Jennifer, pausing like a diva for the peasants to clear out so she can strut 20 feet to her SUV. While she was being criticized, others defended the Let's Get Loud artist. A person wrote, she's on a movie promo tour. A bunch of photographers were there only to take pics of her for money. She didn't control anyone, but simply waited for them to pass by. So what's the problem? You're just mad because she looks like a superstar, and I love the video, and I love this video for it. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I need y'all to clear the pathway so the photographers can get a clear shot of me walking from point A to point B. It's all part of this is all what they do in this industry. It's part of the business. Now, skincare blogger Sean Garrett said she was actually being considerate while also being a professional diva, because trust and believe, Mariah would do that shit too. Now, another said she's in the middle of a promo, or unless you Olivia Rodrigo and you going from the car like this with your face and covering, didn't even stop to get in her car, because that's what she did the other day. Now, another says she's in the middle of a promotional campaign for the new movie. This type of action is part of the job. What I just said. Now, Hinofa's forthcoming movie, Office Romance, is releasing on the streaming service Netflix, because they ain't even say what it was. Or maybe they did and I just didn't pay attention. June 5th, it follows a secret relationship between a high-powered CEO, Jackie Cruz, her playing a Hispanic, because any other time y'all be trying to make her a white woman, and a new lawyer, Daniel Branchflower, played by, I don't, did they say his name in here? No, they put Brett, who works for her company. Brett co-wrote the romantic comedy with Joe Kelly, and Ole Parker directed it. The Shrinking. Oh yeah, so this guy from Shrinking. I thought it said Ted Lasso, but they're talking about Shrinking. But I could have sworn it was the guy from Ted Lasso. But anyway, so he co-wrote the script. He personally picked Jennifer to play the love interest, and there were stories going around that she is dating the guy, the actor who's playing her love interest in the movie. So they've been trying to play this up to make it seem like Jennifer got a man, and this is her. What do you call it? This is her rebound after Ben Affleck, and saying that yeah, the relationship didn't work out, and that's not something that she's interested in pursuing because she makes more money than him and she needs somebody within her same tax bracket. I just don't think at this point Jennifer is interested in a man having the same tax bracket as her, because quiet as it's kept, Ben Affleck matched her in regards to the money and his power and influence in Hollywood, and she was in love with that man. So her being able to buy whatever she want to buy, that's fine. But if she want a little dick me down situation, that's what you need to do. At this point, Jennifer gonna be one of them girls that's gonna be alone for the rest of her life, and that's not a bad thing. I know she loves love and all that other stuff, but girl, just get you some dick. Let somebody throw your ass up against the wall and bend you like Beckham. That's what you need. And then go about your business. Your love should be with your kids and your family and your friends who truly care about you. Because when it comes to relationship stuff, a lot of people can't handle a woman who has, who's able to substantially take care of themselves and sustain themselves and have and do all the things for themselves. Because she don't need no man to take care of her. That woman is worth $400 million. So all that extra stuff don't mean nothing. But you just need penis. And once you get dicked on down, and I don't think you got any more kids because you're pushing 60. So them eggs is powdered. So just get run through. I don't know if you like them with or without the condoms. You know, us homosexuals, like, what's a condom? Let them rip them guts into two, split them in two, and then go about your day. So shout out to Jennifer. And whatever, and I just definitely want to hear from y'all. I'm not gonna go in anymore in this mess, but I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you think people are overreacting to this whole thing regarding Jennifer Lopez? Now, we could say many things about Jennifer, and trust or believe I have on this show, but this is just a bunch of damn nothing. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Gen Z sure loves the pirate. Well, look, I'd rather pirate than have to spend so much goddamn money on these streaming services. And it's like, look at me. I'm just old school with the fact that I ain't got time to do the VPNs and all that other mess. I'll just pay the little thing. Like today, they even came out with this thing that Disney Plus is now trying to incorporate, excuse me, more of Hulu stuff into Disney Plus. But Hulu, they have no plans on getting rid of Hulu completely, which was the rumor that y'all was talking about y'all was going to do this year. So now they're saying that there's some people, and I don't even know because they confused the hell out of me when I was reading the article, and that was over there at Variety. You can connect your Disney Plus and Hulu together. Whereas when you connect it, you actually get where you left off on Hulu. It's connected. So you can sync your things. But if you have the bundle like Disney, Hulu, and HBO Max, like I have, you can't sync it. I'm like, what? Make it make sense. If I'm sitting there paying 30, and yes, I'm paying 30 fucking dollars for all three as a bundle. Why can't I sync my shit together? So if I happen to be on Disney and I gotta catch up on my Law and Order SVU, I gotta actually look where I left off on Hulu and go over there and watch it on Disney. But I'm like, y'all doing the most. Y'all need to figure out what the hell y'all doing because Disney, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing in this whole Hulu situation. Why even combine it? Because quiet as it's kept, Disney Plus ain't really got shit on there anyway. I tend to watch Hulu more than Disney Plus. The only time I was going on Disney Plus when I watched that disappointing ass season of Daredevil. I still haven't gotten around to watch the new what is it, the Punisher season. And I gotta catch up on the boys. The boys finale, I believe, is this week. I gotta catch up on that. He said she need to stop doing this 2000 stunt queen shit. She's stuck in the 2000s. ICE is in Memphis and Citizens was trying to to alert us, but they cut our phone towers and power lines to make sure. That's some bullshit. So they out there they're still out here doing this crazy shit with ICE. Well, that was reported. I don't know if it was Kyle Kalinske or the I've Had It ladies that posted this, but they said, yeah, just because they stopped talking about it in the media doesn't necessarily mean they stopped completely of ICE doing what they doing. Because they still out here carrying. I promise you, she is such a fucking Leo. All of them thinks that they are models. You can tell. Well, some of them be out, but yeah, the one thing about the difference with Jennifer Lopez is she understands the game. She never gonna leave her house looking a mess. She always gonna be put together from head to toe. This big ass coat doesn't even flatter Jennifer. Did she stage this just so people would stop talking about what Mia Starr revealed about? Yeah, totally forgot about the whole Mia Starr thing. And that video did blow up on my channel. So shout out to y'all because I ain't hear nobody else talking about it, which is good. We're not gonna talk about something that nobody else does. And that movie will be another flop in her filmography on Wikipedia. Weeks away from summer, and she's wearing a fur coat. Yeah, because I was like, it's hot in New York. You sitting there wearing that coat because she was going to walk 20 feet. First of all, it's all for aesthetics because what she's going to do is get in that heavily air-conditioned car because she's flashing to go from point A and then go to another place. So it's going to be cold where she at. So yeah, she's wearing it for fashion purposes. And you said if I had the luxury of not singing, not you doing the Mariah read. Her and Mark Anthony, yeah, they did look weird together. Because remember, she was allegedly messing with him during that debut album when they was working together on No Me Ames. And he was with Dianara, allegedly. There was some cheatations going on. But yeah, they did kind of look weird together, but for some reason their relationship kind of worked because it felt like for the most part, he humbled her. She wasn't all in that diva stuff. I don't even use VPN. A Virgo will humble your ass real quick. Because I'm like, yeah, Virgo and a Leo in a relationship, that's interesting combination. I don't even use VPNs. Currently pirating All Stars, Euphoria, and now the Talk Tomorrow. And if it's for free, it's for me. Disney's still $7. Ain't been back since. It's $7 because I could have sworn it went up. I don't know if they still $7. Yes, the free 99. I got okay, because I live for a free 99. I need to start using that shit. Keep my antivirus on though. Yeah, you got to because you get all kinds of viruses if you don't be watching out. In other countries, like in Japan, they really hate, of course, they hate pirating because they're all about the tech and they want you to spend that money. A true pirate knows many islands. Mr. Robert from Memphis, Tennessee. Yes. So sidebar, Euphoria ends in 2 weeks, and it still feels like this plot. But that's why I ain't watch it, because it looked like it was a bunch of shit. And people have been hating on that damn show so much. I thought I ain't watching that mess. What's that new show with the Half Brothers? Is that called Baby Reindeer? I want to watch that. And it still feels like this plot is going nowhere. Let this be the last. It is the last season, and that's why I'm like, I'm not watching that. I was like, y'all tell me how Euphoria is. I still don't care. I don't care about Sydney Sweeney doing the whole OF thing because a story came out. Maybe I'll even talk about it if y'all care enough. But like an actual segment, not me and passing. But Maitland Ward, who used to be on Boy Meets World, apparently is an OF model now, and she went in on this whole plot line regarding Sydney Sweeney and the content creation, doing all that stuff, and the whole baby sexualizing thing, because you can't do none of that on OnlyFans. And she was talking about that and how she's pissed off over this storyline. But this is Sam doing weird ass shit to get y'all to watch. I was like, I don't care that they buried Miss Girl from the neck up and they're about to take her head off with a golf club. I don't care about all them stupid storylines or add a BC from Oz being on the show. I don't care. Y'all tell me how it is. But I am going to watch this final season of The Boys. I'm just going to wait. I want to wait till it's all done and I'm probably going to binge it. But I probably should catch it tonight. Maybe I should start watching it tonight. But I'm watching other stuff too. So, I'll be all over the place when I watch certain shows. But anyway, let's get back into some more celebrity news and gossip. And let's talk about Snooki. So apparently Snooki's out here talking about Wendy Williams. How you doing? Because she said one time she did the Wendy Williams show and Wendy Williams forced her hand in revealing she was pregnant by trying to offer her to take a drink. Now, of course, we gagged back in the day watching this stuff, but looking back on this now, yeah, it definitely would be considered problematic because she wouldn't reveal this on a podcast. So Snooki says Wendy Williams tried to manipulate her into revealing she was pregnant while live on air using alcohol as a makeshift pregnancy test. The Jersey Shore star discussed the moment, on an episode of Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine podcast, explaining she hadn't told the world she was pregnant at the time, but rumors had started to circulate. Excuse me. Williams heard those rumors, Snooki says, and gave her a bottle of beer on the show, basically saying, "Let's see if you're pregnant." Snooki says she put the bottle to her lips but didn't sip it, a shrewd move that kept her secret intact. Snooki guested on the Wendy Williams show. Why am I tongue tied all of a sudden? The Wendy Williams show during its run multiple times, delivering a ton of memorable moments, like revealing she and her husband conceived their daughter while he was driving a car. Williams, as you know, is no longer on TV. The show ended in 2022 and now has much more pressing concerns than Snooki's pregnancy, namely trying to free herself from that conservatorship. Um, as they said, well, this is over on TMZ where they reported this. Now, unclear if Wendy will come back to TV. First of all, I'm not even going to finish this. Wendy don't need to come back to TV. Wendy was a time was had when we had Wendy on TV. But we all know that mind ain't been the same since Kevin got caught out there with that damn baby from Sharina. So we was all rooting for Wendy. We was all rooting for you back when, she had finally kicked that old bum ass motherfucker to the curb. But it just seemed like with the self-medicating and the drinking and allegedly hiding the bottles in the ceiling and slurring her words and being forgetful, which we understand that comes with old age and the constant ailments, and then just disappeared from TV or whatever altogether, which they had to go and bring in Sherry Shepherd and a bunch of other guests. And then Sherry ended up getting the show and, all the other mess that transpired with that. We love Wendy, but after seeing her on that Wendy Williams special on Lifetime, whatever, she don't have that. Like, that time has came and went. She don't have that spark. She's not that Wendy that we once loved back in the day. She don't exist no more. So, but if she want to come back and do things in her own way, I'm sure there's ways to go about it. But no, Wendy, her time was her time, and we all need to move on. But yeah, that was a bit of a mess. And with Wendy, I'm not making an excuse for her, but at those times, it's like I heard the rumors. I'm doing things for TV. It's entertaining. We were living for the reads, the roasts, the shade, all that stuff. That was good TV. And Wendy especially went even harder on the reality girls. So Wendy was messy. She knew how to make good TV. And Snooki was someone who was always game for the situation. But it's like, yeah, you trying to force a situation that I'm not ready to discuss, probably because who knows what level of, if there was difficulties that she was out, because I don't remember. It's been a long time. If Snooki's ever talked about having difficult pregnancies, whatever the case is, and so many things that have gone on in her life. And with the whole party lifestyle that she had over on Jersey Shore, it's like, yeah, I'm not ready to discuss these things as of yet. So when he was trying to force her hand, and we know that look, y'all went in on Barbara Walters when she would do certain things back in the day. Remember what she did when she tried to force Ricky Martin to come out of the closet and so many other problematic things? And y'all went in on Oprah over some of the things that she did when she tried to when she had the people that S.A. Monique come on the show. And Monique still ain't let her forgive her over that because she brings it every chance she get. So we're not going to take away from the fact that there were a lot of things back in the day that were deemed problematic, and hosts was doing stuff where they were trying to have those gotcha moments because it would help the ratings on their show. So I'm not making an excuse for Wendy, but that was the way they played the game back in the day. But I'm glad that Snooki spoke about it and got out her piece and said what she said. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding what Snooki had to say? I know some people are like, okay, so, but why are you even bringing this up now? I don't even know what the whole point of, okay, why we need to bring up Wendy Williams in a conversation you have it on the podcast. Like, what led up to you even needing to bring that up? But that was part of the conversation we talked about. I definitely want to hear what your thoughts on that story. So let me know in the comments down below. Lamar basically said the adult industry hates the storyline and they even hate Bonnie Boo. Didn't Ellen do this? It's doing a lot of problematic shit too. She was another one they was getting on. Um, yeah, she was another one they was getting on during her tenure on TV. But I don't know if she. I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it because I don't remember. But I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to pull one on Mariah. Because I do remember hearing a story that Ellen did try to force someone to reveal their pregnancy on her show. And she's done other things that people have deemed problematic, as we said. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this story. So they finally released the mugshot of Kim Mathers, Eminem's ex-wife, because he was out of here drinking. She got hit with a DUI last Thursday. And the mugshot has been released. Actually, I got two. So, but we're gonna put this one up for now. So, child, why she look like the second picture? I said she looked like Miley Cyrus if Miley Cyrus was a girl who had just undergone a whole was thrown in rehab for excessive meth use. But they said, as seen in the photo obtained by Page Six, the rapper's ex, formerly Kim Mathers, flashed a smile while posing for her mugshot after she was arrested on a DUI charge last Thursday. She was booked at the Macomb County Jail in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Now, in the mugshot, the 51-year-old wore her hair in a short pixie cut and sported minimal makeup, a drastic switch up from when she used to date Eminem. Because if you look at the picture on the right, I don't know she got on more makeup than a drag queen. Miss Thing out here looking like divine. That's how much makeup even all that blue eyeshadow. Now, during her relationship with the Slim Shady rapper born Marshall Mathers, she sported long blonde locks and trendy beauty looks. As Page Six previously reported, Scott's latest arrest came just 3 days after she appeared in court on similar charges. Detective Sergeant Joseph Feld of the Chesterfield Township Police Department told TMZ that Scott allegedly hit a car while driving near Detroit last Wednesday night. No injuries were reported, and Scott has since been released from jail. Now, last Monday, Scott appeared in court to plead no contest to impaired driving and failure to report an accident that took place in February. Now, during the incident, she allegedly crashed into a parked car while taking her teenage son Parker and his friend shopping. What happened to Nate? Ain't that the other sibling that Eminem had? I didn't even know she had more kids, but apparently she does. So now they said, at the scenes, officers allegedly found bottles that contained soda and alcohol in Scott's car, and body cam footage showed her taking a breathalyzer test. Scott's sentencing for her February DUI is set for June, though it's unclear whether her new charges will affect that hearing. Oh, but I forgot to mention this part. So they said that, yeah, she took her teenage son Parker and his friend shopping. Instead of shopping, she allegedly drove home, then crashed into her own garage door. Her neighbors told TMZ she was transported to the hospital with minor injuries. So she out here drinking and driving. Look at them bags, child. She got more bags than somebody shopping at Macy's. Now, over the past 2 decades, she has been arrested several other times. I got another one of her mugshots on my website if you want to see it. If I would have remembered, I would have posted that up here too. Now, over the past 2 decades, she has been arrested several other times, primarily related to substance abuse, driving under the influence, and traffic violations. Well, hold on, because I might actually be able to pull it up. Um, Hold on, because y'all got this picture, and then we're gonna pull up the old one as well. So yeah, there's this one. Well, we got this other mug. That's the other mugshot. That was her back in the day, where she out here with the two-tone hair color. Okay, so now they said, yeah, she's been arrested several other times, primarily related to substance abuse, driving under the influence, and traffic violations. Scott and Eminem, who's 53, first wed in 1999 and divorced 2 years later. They they remarried in a small ceremony in Michigan in January of 2006, but just 3 months after their second wedding, the Grammy winner filed for divorce. The former couple share 3 kids: Haley Jade Mathers, who's 30, who I believe she just got married, so shout out to her. Elena Marie Scott, who's 33, and Stevie Lane Mathers, who's 24. Scott welcomed Parker following her divorce with Eminem. So she got 4 kids, 3 of them with Eminem. We only knew about Haley, but she probably had them kids around the time when they probably got back together, whatever the case was, or he was just out here hunching her whenever the mood struck. So, Miss Thing, you are a mess. Um, Eminem was like, I ain't got no priorities over her. Whatever she doing ain't got shit to do with me. And as long as my other 3 kids is all living their life, they all in their 30s doing them, and she out here with her teenage son from another relationship or just a one night hunch, and still out here being a hot ass mess because she can't contain her own alcoholism. Hopefully she gets the help she needs, but this is just sad to hear. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are. I remember somebody in the comments was asking me if I was ever going to show the mugshot. Well, child, look, I finally showed it now, or I finally talked about it and all that stuff because now it's a story. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. The entire mugshot is album cover worthy. Exactly. He don't care about it no more. You know what? To be shady, I would definitely make that as my album cover. It was like I would if Eminem was about another album, he should use her mugshot. That would be the shadiest damn thing he could do. But he's Slim Shady, and at this point, you know what? Eminem don't even need to put out new music because I don't think people care. But I guess if he were to tour, people would care. All right, y'all. Now speaking of tours, let's talk about Bruce Springsteen's political tour, which has definitely ruffled a lot of feathers. So now Stevie Van Zandt did an interview and he was talking about the tour that he's going to. I just worked 2 of his shows at the Garden. And I have to say, it was a really good show. I had never experienced Bruce Springsteen, of course. I mean, maybe it's not, of course, but um, I grew up on Bruce Springsteen's music. He is generational. And I'd never seen him live. First of all, I also didn't know that Tom Morello, formerly of Rage Against the Machine, was a guitarist in the E Street Band. He has a guitar solo that definitely got me all up in my feelings because I was like, okay, you better turn it. And I didn't even know because the first night when I guess because I was lower, I was on a lower level, I was on the floor. So, well, not the floor, I was in the area where I told you Tom Hanks was in my section. Also, Bon Jovi, David Zaslav, a bunch of people were at the first show. But yeah, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were in my section. I was in section 108, 109 over there at MSG. That's like close to where the stage was. And also you can go down to the floor. That's where the suites. Let me stop talking about the garden. But anyway, so getting the experience in the first time, it was a lot going on. So I didn't really get to pay attention to see who was on the stage. And I was close to the stage, but I didn't even pay attention to him being up there because there's a lot of stuff I'm like looking out for. So I didn't even realize he was there until he introduced members. I was like, wait, Tom Morello was up there the whole time? But the second night, I was able to relax and enjoy the show more. And I started catching all the bells and whistles. And one thing about this tour is, yes, Bruce Springsteen gets heavily political and a lot of stuff going in on Donald Trump. He brings up Alex Preddy and Renee Good and the whole ICE situation. And he was singing the song Ice Out Now in the chorus. I don't know the name of the song, but he definitely sings that. And yeah, he opens the show with the song War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Yeah, he opens the show with that song. Um, then he sings so he goes and sings a lot of songs. The tour, I mean, the show is actually 3 hours, but so it's a great show. He's up there performing like he's in his youth. He even goes and does like a little B stage thing, which is like this small little stage runway that's like in the like near the pit. So, and that's when he takes the vest off, that's when he goes to the smaller stage. But so he definitely turns out. But anyway, so with all this being said, he has ruffled some feathers. From what I've heard is that people, because he gets so heavily political, I guess a couple of Trump supporters came to the Springsteen E Street Band concert that they walked out. They left. They were like, I didn't come here for this. I'm like, did you? Bruce Springsteen, the man's had a career for over 50 years. Like he's been performing since the 60s. Have you not been paying attention to Bruce Springsteen? Because he's always been speaking out against the establishment. He's always been political. This is nothing new. But because people are so caught up in their little bubble, they're not paying attention. And one of the things I will say is like a lot of what his speeches and people will standing up, giving standing ovations, definitely just eating out of palm of Bruce's hands, and definitely with the message and feeling. It made me have hope for America and humanity when I was watching the tour, and I kind of got a little choked up at some points. So I'm like, look at all these white people standing up and clapping, like they really ain't with the shits of Donald Trump. So I was living for the fact that everybody was remotely into it. They would stand up at times, singing along with the songs, giving the standing ovations when Bruce was up there speaking a lot on his political stuff. The only thing that was kind of bothering me with his speech, especially when he was talking about Alex Preddy and Renee Good, I was like, actually, there was more people that whose lives ICE had taken. Yes, Renee Good and Alex Preddy are the most famous to come out of out of the names because they made national news. But from what we were hearing is that from stories I was reading and stuff I was hearing on social media, there were actually 9 lives, 9 lives, 9 lives, might be more, that ICE have taken in addition to, Alex Preddy and Renee Good. So with all this being said, because I need to set the scene and give you my overall review, it's a great show. So if you have the chance to catch it because it's almost winding down, definitely go see Bruce Springsteen E Street Band if you can, because it was definitely inspiring to see this man of a certain age getting up there strumming that guitar and rocking out like he was 16 years old on that stage. And he looks good up close. So I don't know if it's money well spent or he been taking good care of himself, but the man looked good. So Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band have reportedly been forced to increase security during their tour amid threats from supporters of President Trump. Now, in March, when the Land of Hope and Dreams American Tour kicked off in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that's where the streets of Minneapolis, that's the name of the song he did. Springsteen, he's 76. Maybe he's old enough to be my father, told the Minnesota Star Tribune that the tour was going to be political and very topical about what's going on in the country. Also, do y'all not have social media? So those of y'all getting mad over, I didn't come here for this, I shut up and sing, whatever. I'm like, art has always been political. It depends on the artist if they want to take that route. But he told y'all before I was going on tour that I was going to be going in and letting have on Donald Trump. And it's a national, like it's here. It's only in America. I don't think he's going overseas because you know what? It's not going to resonate overseas. Yeah, I'm sure there's people in other countries that despise this president that we have. But it resonates more in America because we're the ones who's really suffering at the hands of the buffoonery that this administration is currently doing. Tour stops included Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles, which the rock and roll legend said are two cities where they had to deal with ICE's terror, referring to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. With 5 cities left in the tour, including Pittsburgh on the 19th, that's tonight, and the conclusion show on May 30th in Philadelphia. That's a good stop to have. E Street Band member and guitarist Stevie Van Zandt, who's 75, told the Daily Mail in an exclusive interview that they've had to beef up security due to threats over Springsteen's comments. Van Zandt, who had been part of the E Street Band since the 70s, said this tour has been a little bit different because of high security, saying it's a very specific political theme to this tour, and there's been a lot of threats, death threats. Usually there's always there's always some, but this time it's been increasing. And even when I was having a conversation with, because they always tell us don't engage with the whole political stuff, which I didn't. People have conversation with me, I'm listening, I'm conversing, I'm not giving my political thoughts and stuff because I don't know you well enough to do that. You know, us Virgos, we close to the chest with a lot of how we feel on certain things. But y'all know I can't stand that fucking idiot in the White House. And number one, the big boss over at MSG, he was there both nights, so clearly he's a fan. So there's nothing wrong with speaking out against things. And if you love this country, truly feel like if you truly love something and you have so much love and hope for the thing, you call out its flaws. You speak up against things that if there's something wrong. If your child is acting up, you correct them. You discipline them. If there's things happening in your country that you love wholeheartedly, you have a right to critique it. That shows you care. If you just passively just allow things to just happen, that just shows you ain't got no backbone, you're spineless, and you're a pussy. Me, I'm always going to speak up against things that I don't necessarily agree with. If there's something I don't like, I'm going to speak up on it. I've always been the type to speak up against those who have been disenfranchised or be the voice for the voiceless. That might have been one of the reasons why I created this podcast, because I've always had a mouth on me. Now, he said the band Bruce, we've had to beef up security, and it's mostly just talk. Of course it is, because a lot of people are. You realize they all just talk. And it's not like we're saying something that's not true or we're saying something that's so really particularly controversial, but it's specifically political. He says, so the FBI and others have been really watching things and been overly concerned about it, and they should be. We want the fans to be safe and feel safe, so we really go the extra mile with extra security for that reason alone. And the thing with us at Madison Square Garden, we don't play about craziness. Like, our security is airtight. We've got great security where we're at. So y'all ain't got to worry about nothing crazy happening up in there. Now, Van Zandt, who is also in the midst of his promotional tour with his Mezcal Malvado Maple Mezcal, went on to say that the threats and added security haven't gotten in the way of their performance. He said, I've been getting death threats most of my life. I had another encounter during my South Africa days where I was fighting apartheid in South Africa. I got threats then. Oh, so Elon Musk don't like him. Now, they said, I've been very political in my early years. I actually am a lot less political now. I'm really not particularly interested anymore. But ironically, as I got out of it, Bruce got into it. So Bruce has always been kind of like that blue collar musician. But as Stevie Van Zandt was like, yeah, I've been in this shit for the longest of time. This is not performative. Like, I've really been up in there fighting against apartheid, always speaking out against stuff. And as you get older, you're just like, you know what? I've done all the things I need to do. I don't have it in me anymore. But now that you see Bruce getting more heavily into it and speaking out against a country that he loves, because he sees the hope in humanity. He sees that we should be doing better. Yes, we're a relatively young country, but these old ass, fucking greedy ass criminals and oligarchs, they should not be the ones controlling the narrative of what happens in our country, or whatever the case is. We should want more for ourselves, and we should want more for humanity. We should want more for the American people. And we as a people got to stand up and be like, no, we're not putting up with this bullshit. We're not going to let this president allow these rich people, these Silicon Valley oligarchs, and Wall Street and all these other people to just rape and pillage our country of its resources and leave us with nothing. Because this is how colonizers operate. And they feel like because they old and they only got a couple of years left, before they end up dead because of old age. They don't care about the repercussions of what they're going to leave behind for the next generation to have to endure because they're reaping all the benefits. But here's the thing, you can't take all that wealth with you when you die because somebody going to dig your shit up and clean you out. You can't control all of that when you dead. So I don't understand the whole point of these rich people that get so caught up in this mess of wanting to hoard all of the wealth for themselves. So now Springsteen, they said, has been a prominent supporter of the Democratic Party for decades. Now, earlier this year, he released a new song, Street of Minneapolis, which he said was in response to the state terror being visited on the city of Minneapolis. Referring to ICE, he describes ICE as King Trump's private army in the protest song. Yes, he says that in the show too. Now, the song is dedicated to the people of Minneapolis, our innocent immigrant neighbors, and in memory of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Van Zandt, who stressed he's staying out of politics, told the Daily Mail that he has friends on both sides of the political spectrum and that he turns to music, which he says is the perfect common ground to bring people together. And that's why I said music's always been sort of that thing where it's like, we may not agree on a lot of things politically, but the music is the main factor. It's the thing that connects us all. And you can reach so many more people through song than you could just, I'm sitting here giving you my political opinions, and it's gonna turn people off in the long run. So now the E Street Band singer has been by Springsteen's side for decades and has maintained an unbreakable friendship with the New Jersey native ever since the pair met in the Garden State in their early careers. Now, like Springsteen, who still lives close to his hometown of Freehold, New Jersey, Van Zandt is considering a move back to where they first started due to the political climate, saying, I've thought about moving, but it seems like you keep getting pulled back to New York and New Jersey, and we're really at this point seriously considering leaving New York and going back to New Jersey where we came from. I'm not very happy with what's going on in New York right now. It's not safe, and it hasn't been safe for years. And with this new, okay, now he's getting into this whole shit about Zoran, you're full of shit. Because number one, what are you talking about? You felt safe under Eric Adams, who spent more time backstage hanging out with French Montana, smoking folk and hookahs in nightclubs than actually being the mayor of fucking New York. So what are you talking about? Now you're starting to lose me. And this is when Daily Mail starts losing me with all this bullshit ass conservative propaganda crap that they're talking about. So you sit up here talking about the city is dangerous. That's some bullshit. But I did see that there was some new swatches that was going on and y'all writing over that. I'm like, okay, so why aren't y'all having that same energy over the fact that the rent is too goddamn high in New York, but y'all out here fighting because y'all had to stand on the line in Times Square for days without washing your ass and brushing your funky ass teeth over a fucking swatch. That's what y'all fighting over. But our country is at stake right now, and y'all don't care about that. So yeah, they sit up here and talk. Mind you, in 4 months, he balanced the damn budget, which Eric Adams ain't doing. A $12 billion budget, but New York is dangerous. So you lost me on with all the other bullshit. But yeah, shout out to Bruce Springsteen for speaking on what he's going on. And I guess maybe he's saying that everything ain't safe right now and things ain't going his way because you're part of the 1% who financially benefits because you're rich and now you got to pay extra taxes. So that's probably what that realty is. And that's, when it comes down to the Daily Mail, their whole main agenda is spewing bullshit about the anti-Zoran bandwagon because it affects rich people, and he's trying to make a world a better place for us regular folk. So I say all this to say, and I know it's going to take time before they can work on not making the rent so goddamn expensive in New York, but I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this? Have you seen the Bruce Springsteen E Street Band show? Have you caught any of the tour dates? What are your overall thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on what Stevie Van Zandt had to say about increasing security and stuff? Me, I didn't know about the whole increasing of security, but I should have known that. Yeah, that makes sense because there was a lot of security on the floor when his show was happening. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Can we please have concepts of thoughts and prayers as the super yacht carrying Gianni and Judge Thomas has been marked for carrying her? Ew. All right, so speaking of these old nasty ass viruses, and we got an administration where We got an idiot running the Department of Health, RFK Jr. So it's like we are cooked. Kylie Minogue revealed she had a second cancer battle with breast cancer in 2021. We didn't know about it. She revealed why remission happens. She didn't chop them and get rid of them, but as a pop star, it's part of her image. But at 53, she was like, I can let the girls go. So she got her boobs removed. So you know what? And look, she could throw on an outfit. That's probably why she covers herself up. But um, one of the things about Kylie, I think she's all her career, her life is always not a career. Her life has always been a mystery. We don't really know much about her personal life. She's always like, I'm gonna get out there. I'm that ultimate showgirl. I'm gonna give y'all a show. I don't want to complain about anything going on in my personal life. And I just hope that this show, this docuseries, gives us the insight on who she is. Because I know she keeps herself close, like everything close to the vest, and she likes to remain mysterious, but I do like the idea that she's also very much relatable and personable whenever we see her out here in doing interviews and stuff. So we feel like we know her, but we don't know her. So there's a little bit of mystery, but we feel like we know her, and she feels like a friend we're catching up with whenever she does interviews. If people don't leave Bruce Springsteen alone, he's another one that doesn't. No, he doesn't. You said his Nebraska album is one of my favorite albums of all time, even though he rarely performs songs from that album during long ass. But yeah, because I tell you, that show is 3 hours long. I'm like, Jesus. But it flies by. The administration are anti-mask. We all go, they anti everything. Anything that's really gonna help our health and whatever, they don't give a shit about us. They busy out here spewing conspiracy theories, and the president is only interested in having people that's gonna kiss his ass and be yes people rather than people who actually understand the job that they're doing. Because that recent thing that they did where Cash Patel had to go before the courts, that shit was hilarious. And it's going to show he's such an idiot. Kylie to me is the blueprint of what showgirlism should be. She's not that edgy, and that's what I love about her. She's pretty to look at, and she releases bop. Justice for Body Language. Well, we do love that record. That was her experimental era where she was doing the R&B and so many other different sounds, and I do love that record. Yeah, she's not problematic. You don't hear nothing negative about Kylie. She don't never be in the news for nothing negative. She gets out here, she does her song, she tours, and then she goes home and minds her business. So hopefully, if she's gonna be like she said, she's gonna be touring next year to combat the 40th anniversary. I definitely hope that she's gonna release new music, and then on top of that, I say do it similar to the celebration tours. Like give us, go through your years, the Stock Aitken Waterman days, child, even throwing some indie Kylie gems, when she did Impossible Princess, but just remix the songs. And make them more like fitting with the theme of the story. Like you have a little segment where I'm gonna do my little indie Kylie phase, and then you do the light years, and then we do Fever, and then we do body language stuff, and then we do X, and then look at me naming all the albums. Aphrodite. We do all of those, even down to Tension. God, did she had to end up being like Janet Jackson? She had to do fucking medleys. But look, those songs is short enough that she could sing all them damn songs. I remember being so excited about the Impossible Princess vinyl pressings. You know what I was thinking? I think even the support. I'm thinking now I'm starting to get into. It's like ever since I bought them Madonna vinyl and CD, I think it's kind of I've got the bug to want to start buying more. So I think I'm gonna buy the autographed Adam Lambert vinyl. I also think I'm gonna look and see if I want to get like the Slater vinyl. So now, yeah, I think I want to start collecting them. I've been bit by the bug. Yeah, she definitely always feels like she's very sweet. She don't bother nobody out in these streets. Oh damn, I hit the wrong button. Her most controversial thing was when she you're saying the sexed image during the Saw era, but like she said, all she had in total control was her image. Wait, I'm definitely looking forward to the show. I mean, when the docuseries when it airs tomorrow. But anyway, Um, the hard candy vinyl is no longer impressing. $500, shit. $500. Don't buy into brainless consumerism. It's an addiction, and you're gonna feel silly having all those variants hanging around your house. Well, that's true. There's new Kylie vinyls, Light Years, X, and Aphrodite, and Kiss Me Once are getting pressed. Well, if they're not expensive, so Robert has it, but look, it ain't $500 that you're gonna have to pay for it because you own it. But anyway, so it looks like we're at the end of the show, y'all. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of the show. So definitely look out for that. But in the meantime, if you have not already, one last time, hit that like button, that subscribe, smash the notification bell, hit the hype button, do all the things you got to do to push this out there in these good old internet streets. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support of this messy ass show. And until next time, I'm like, damn, why does my camera look? It don't matter. I'm about to clock out anyway. Until next time, y'all. Ciao, darlings.